And we are here live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman, part of Shaggy TV, and we're here to bring you the Bob Light Memorial here on Thursday, June 6th here at the Iracing Super Speedway. This is a big track, and you know, not a whole lot of cars here right now, but I imagine we'll get a couple more, and you know, this track's going to give these guys a lot of room to race. Hopefully they behave themselves and keep the cautions to a minimum, or this one could turn into a long one here. 77 laps around this place. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at... I'm going to show you what their best times look like. So there you go. You see it actually. Never mind, it was already up. 51 seconds. So not too brutal, you know, but a very simple track. Just it's banked the whole way around. It kind of the difference between that and Daytona. Daytona kind of flattens out on the backstretch, especially. But should be a pretty good race here tonight. As right now we're watching that Yoo-hoo machine, Terry Landis. That's, I believe, is that Gary? No, Greg Parmalee maybe was behind him. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go on board with Greg for a little bit. You can just hear it. I mean, you can hear all the little pieces of rubber kicking up, hitting the ball. See what's going on with Brandon Dittmer. He's coming with, I believe, oh, okay, that's my dad in front of him, Tim Chapman in the 37. They're wearing these two down. They're going to have a little 4-car practice here. Let's see, Brandon's going to try to push him on the outside. And clear. They got a big run. You know, these trucks are going to handle a little different. Iracing came out with a new update, and they overhauled the trucks. Handling much different than it used to be, I heard, and have read about. So, anxious to see how that goes tonight. Supposedly, they weren't as loose as they were, and, you know, I'm kind of seeing cars snug up a little bit. The aero was supposed to affect them a little differently now, so... have to see. It's probably a lot of these guys' first time in the truck here. Terry Landis pushing the middle here, 3 wide. But yeah, I imagine they'll give these guys a little bit of time here to get everybody on track, get everything together here. See if we can pick up another guy or two. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we're out here racing for Bob. It's definitely not the same without him. You know, I mean, this track's kind of anybody can really win here. You just got to make sure you're in the right spot at the end of the race. But Bob would have excelled at doing that. He's a guy who every time he stepped on the track, you knew you had to drive hard to beat that guy, and it was not an easy thing to do. Yeah, sorry. Just messaging some teammates and stuff, trying to make sure more people, or everybody that wants to get in is trying to get in here. So I may mute audio a little bit and hop down to another Discord and try to tell people maybe if they don't mind, hold off till quarter of here, but we'll have to see. I'll be right back with the audio here. Okay, we're back here. Sorry, I was talking to those guys, so I wasn't being the best cameraman. But we are going to push this back a little bit. I think I'm going to wait at least 15 minutes here, maybe the whole time. So go make some popcorn. You're definitely going to not hear me for a little bit. I was expecting to go a little bit early, but earlier, but man, I don't care at all. I'll probably go grab a nice cold beverage. Started working at a liquor store here in PA, so got some amaretto cream I'm going to be drinking tonight with you guys this evening. But yeah, here in probably 5 or 10 minutes I'll step away a little bit, but for now I'll let you. This is Gary Siegelcow we're riding with. Only have 2 cars on, or now 3. Terry Landis just pulled back out, but we have 3 cars on the track. We got the 25, the Gary Siegelcow. Got the 70 here, Mike Cramner. Well, now they're all pulling out. They all want some TV time. I said Terry Landis pulled out. Here he goes. He's still pacing down there. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That young fella there. I like to call him Smokey. Him and I share a hobby. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks there. Let's see who that's. That's Preston sneaking up behind him. Malcolm's Mills, Mill Riding Crates, Oval Track Parts, Galen's Homegrown Popcorn Machine. That thing's nice. Oh, check that out. Look at that 77 in honor of Bob tonight. That's a cool deal. And behind him, we got Jim Bowie. He's in that 058 machine. So one of my teammates there, John Hine, he did just join in the room. Hasn't put a time down yet or anything, but we got another guy in the building here. I know a couple more guys are going to show up. There was little time discrepancies throughout the week. This was supposed to happen originally on Tuesday, but if you watched last Thursday, I disclosed I started a new league on Tuesday nights, a pro late model league. So I was tied up on Tuesday, and this is what I had available. So this is what we decided to go with. And it was really no time. Didn't matter for me, but I think it originally went from being at 9 o'clock on Tuesday to when they rescheduled it, they just put it at like 8:30. So caught a couple guys off guard this afternoon. I saw on the page. I tried to remind them whenever I saw that, but no big deal. I don't mind here. The more cars, the merrier here. It'll be put on a better show here, we hope. Hopefully it's not the other way around. see what the draft does here. Iracing Super Speedway, it's hammered down the whole way. These guys aren't going to lift at all unless they want to be that second car in line like Preston is right now. I mean, you can't bump draft for sure, but what I mean by that is if nobody has a big run on you, Preston will let that front car, I mean, not necessarily his teammate. He may not milk his teammate like that in the race, but if you're stuck behind some guy, you may milk his gas a little bit. Just run 3/4 throttle, maybe a little more going down the straightaway. With him taking the air off your nose, I mean, you'll be able to keep that speed easy with the draft. It's like following a tractor trailer down the road, You don't have to let out of the gas, and you keep that same speed. They take the air off the front end. And same concept as it does on the highway. It'll save you gas, it will here. And with as big of a track as this is, we're not really going to know until it's go time here. I actually probably will pull somebody up just when I see them driving on the track. I know Terry Landis is safe here. I'll pull him up and I'll send him back. But we're going to find out how long these guys can go in gas through. Let me see if I can. Oh, John, you're in the booth. What's up?
I am up here in the booth. I thought I'd come out here and keep you some company tonight.
Oh, nice, dude. Are you in the car already?
I am. I'm circling around the apron of the track over on 1 and 2 for the first time, and forgot what a monster this place is.
Dude, you're not kidding. This place is big. And do you think we're going to be able to see Easy 3 wide tonight?
3, 4. I don't know. People get ambitious. You could go 5 wide here.
Yeah, and I think we're definitely going to see it. Maybe, hopefully not right away. Because I want some of the guys to be patient, but we'll have to see here. I'm not gonna hold my breath. But once you get a couple laps in, I forgot what I was originally going to ask you. How many laps to a tank are you getting here? Or, I mean, laps to a tank.
Looks like right about 43 laps. But that's clicking down pretty quick here. Let's see, 43 on the nose. Let's see what happens next time I come by the start-finish line. And this is also, keep in mind, I've got nobody in front of me, so I'm cutting through the air, which is going to suck more gas, and I'm on the bottom. Like I said, this is a place where you can run 2, 3, 4 wide and do it actually with relative ease. The one tricky spot here, especially if you're in a draft, coming up here to turn 3, there's like a little dip going into 3, and if you've got somebody taking the air off your nose, right, in fact, I don't know if you're on me or not, right here, it upsets the truck just a little bit, so watch for that area right there to be kind of the trouble spot, I would assume.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I didn't remember it being that severe. And when I went on board with you there, that thing really dives in there. I didn't remember it being like that. It almost seemed like coming out of 4 there, it stepped up a little bit too. So that's something I guess I was telling everybody earlier. I read in the update, I haven't driven these things, but I guess they're supposedly a little more snug now. Does it feel like that?
No, that's not how I felt yesterday. I did a race at Chicagoland yesterday. And these things drove almost like the Gen 6 cars, very, very loose. The back end was, keeping them planted was actually pretty hard to do. So this will be and of course this is, this super speedway, so this is a different animal than a high downforce track where you're given a lot of wheel, not only through the tri-oval, but through those corners there. So, it was way looser than what I had remembered. I actually had to drive it.
Well, good. That's good to hear, because the tightness I was worried about, it. If everybody, would be a little more competitive, you wouldn't have you wouldn't be able to gain time off the corner like you could, and like you said, the next gen car. These things are really free, and if you master that throttle control and exit, it can pick up a lot of time. I see you testing up against the wall right now. Do you think we'll get maybe a Talladega where the line up against the wall's the fastest?
Yeah, I think you will. I don't know if it'll be the fastest because this track is so wide. When I get down here to 3 and 4, I mean, I don't know if your cameras show it or not, but if you got the gyro camera, it'd be an interesting shot because I'm telling you, looking down to where the bottom lane is, I don't know this for certain, but boy, I tell you, it feels like you're adding an extra half a mile to your lap going around on the top.
Yeah, whenever you're in the middle of the corner, man, that thing, and it is, I guess maybe it's not increased banking, but boy, when you're up against that wall, man, it feels like it's a long way down there.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, I'm in DR, so I can look right down my window, and I mean, it's like just looking right down a cliff. So it's a unique track. It's got more banking than Talladega, and then that will allow guys to do the 3-4 wide. What I'll be interested if somebody comes out here and works with me a little bit is, can you push through these corners with this much banking? Unlike, Daytona, if you push through the corners, chances are you're probably going to wreck somebody. Same thing with Daytona. I mean, Talladega. You can push in the corner, but it's still very, very difficult to do. You really have to be in sync with the guy in front of you to do that. But here, with as much banking and everything else, I think if you're in that second or third lane where you're not putting quite as much wheel into it, I think somebody can stay latched right to your bumper and shove you right through the corner.
Yeah, if you're able to not put a lot of wheel into it, like you say, I think you're right. That may be the move. Run that middle, and
yep. I'm about traveling between the second and third lane up. I think from that point up, you could probably get on somebody's bumper and shove them.
Yeah, and that's where you need a guy, not to say nobody else is capable, but you want Dan McLaren to pull out of the pits in front of you, and be able to push that guy a little bit, because if he can handle it, you can do it. That guy, he knows what he's doing out
absolutely.
here.
Absolutely. Dan's pretty good at these things. So are quite a few guys. The other thing is, you're carrying 190 some odd mile an hour. This pit road right here, man, you've got to get down real quick. And if you see a cluster of trucks pit together, watch for some trouble back there.
No, yeah, and it's one of those deals where, not to bring up sad news for all the NASCAR fans, but that kind of cost Kyle Larson at the end of the day, just trying to get too much going into the pits. And then
they're at Indy?
Yeah. And then you're going to have the opposite here, not to call any guys out, but you know it as well as I do, John. There's certain guys you don't want to pit behind because they slow up too early. So, I mean, that can really wreck the whole train there if you got a guy towards the front who's taking it a little bit too cautious. So it's a real thin line.
It is, and you can, like I said, if you get greedy, and it'll bite you. There is no doubt about that at all. But you know what? This is gonna be fun. We'd be remiss though to not really to mention why we're here tonight. Zach, this is kind of a tribute for Bob Light, and anytime I come to a super speedway like this is the most interaction I have with Bob. I think it was Talladega in an Xfinity race, man. We pushed each other all day long, right to the front several times. And one of my best memories in iRacing is actually somebody that I have that much respect for actually texted me after the race and complimented me and told me what a pleasure it was and to work with me and everything else. And man, I'll never forget that.
No, man, that's not you fangirling out either. He did that to me once after a GT3 race at Charlotte, where I think he only beat me by like a second and a half, and over a 45-minute race, that says something. So,
well, anybody in the same ballpark at the end of a race with Bob is saying something, because I don't know what his winning percentage was, but I'll take that winning percentage to a casino any day of the week.
Yeah, his winning percentage was better than betting red or black. He was like 52%, so that's
and in the GT3s it was like 80-90.
Oh yeah, let's be honest. The only times he didn't win were possibly when a lap car ran him off the track, or he once in a blue moon overdrove the thing and wrecked it. But it was rarely his fault that he lost one of those races.
Man, those guys all drafted as I came off pit road went by me so fast. They look like Indy cars with the amount of speed they were going through by me. Wow.
Yeah, I believe my dad was in that group. They're going pretty quick. Oh, Kemper's out here now too. He showed up. He latched on in that group, so that's cool.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we've got, before we got some time before this whole shindig fires off and everything else, we could also talk about C2C and what we've got going over the summer. We're going to continue to broadcast our Monday night races. Nice thing is long nights where I think a couple nights in the spring and the fall, you saw 3 or 4 races in a night. We're going to pare back in 3 races in a night. So it's going to compact the nights a little bit, which I think is going to be, at least for me, is going to be really nice. So, I didn't mind doing 3 races. 4, man, that got to be a lot. So I'm excited about that. But, I know you've looked over the schedule. What's got you the most excited?
Well, I don't know what the deal is, John, if I'm gonna be able to race or not, but we both know what I used to like. I'm kind of excited for the street stocks to come back. I'm really hoping that people behave themselves. We both know what they can turn into, but I think with iRacing releasing the new damage model with all the cars, that will maybe punish you a little more if you're too aggressive in the street stock. But man, that's just grassroots redneck Gettysburg racing for me. I love the street stocks.
It is, and the key to those is because you can roughhouse in them a little bit. You can lean on one another. It lures you into a false sense of what you can and can't get away with. And like you said, they got a little rough the last couple of seasons, but I've got confidence in our guys to recognize where those limits are and what to do, what not to do in them. A little disappointed in iRacing. We should have got the street stocks as new ones across the board, but it is what it is, and I think we're going to get them eventually. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I'm excited they're coming back because I think a lot of guys can compete in those that can't compete. If I remember correctly, you saw a lot of different guys towards the front of those than what you might see in a sprint car or a late model. There's some different nuances to those cars that suited some other drivers better.
No, you're exactly right. And oh my gosh, it's killing me that I can't think of a perfect driver to fit that example. They had a plumbing sponsorship. Oh, it's going to kill me. He was so good in the street stocks, and he's kind of like me, just average and everything else, not really exceptional, but it was in the street stocks. Man, I'm going to think of it before this is over. That's really going to bug me.
You'll remember right at the end of the broadcast, right when you shut everything down.
Man,
and then
it
you're
was
gonna
a
start
blue
custom.
paint job with it's killing me, John. I can look at it. Oh, man.
Well, sorry to put you in some angst there, but yeah, the street stocks are coming back this year over the summer here, and that is going to be one that I'll be eyeballing to see how that turns out. I'm also excited about the late models going over to Sunday. With work and everything that I've got going on, Sunday is going to fit, in my schedule. I know it'll fit in Speed's schedule too. Being out on the West Coaster, maybe we'll get some better numbers out there in those and the midgets. Having the West Coast guys on the weekend might be able to come along and enter those races too. So, I just hope all the numbers stay steady. I mean, it's the summer. I know everybody likes to get out and go do their thing and everything else. And, I don't know. It's been a crazy spring with all the tornadoes. So hopefully the weather starts cooperating a little bit better where we can all get out and enjoy the outdoors a little bit.
No, and I mean, let's be honest too about that Sunday late model deal. That's going to rope more guys into the GT3 that I like. That was kind of something that every now and then we were running some obscure tracks, but being the only race on Sunday night, it kind of really hurt. And this being the first season after Bob, it'll be nice to have 2 classes before the GT3 and maybe pressure some more guys into running that a little bit, because I mean the GT3 it's a whole different type of racing, and it really preaches patience, and that's something that different guys in this league, I mean, they definitely excel at, like guys like Jeff Barker, Greg Boydell. I mean, they do really well in the GT3 class, so it'll be nice to get them some competition out there.
Yeah, and those races are really nice. You wouldn't think too much translates over, but being in a virtual world, you know, it really helps kind of keep those hand-eye coordinations all pretty tight, because unlike the real world and race cars, you kind of drive with your butt. You know, what's your butt telling you? You get loose as a pushing. But here it's really visual cues on where to turn in, where to lift, and then you start to get into a rhythm, and then the visual cues matter a little less. But, you know, keeping all that stuff sharp, I found road racing, even though I'm not very fast at it, it's always translated over for me. And man, I'm really excited about running the new Corvette. I took it for some laps the other day, and oh my gosh, that car is everything I expected. Everything and more.
Yeah, as soon as I messaged you guys that you approved, I went and bought that thing, and oh man, it is fun. I cannot wait to do an endurance race in that bad boy. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think the first chance we'll get to use it is going to be the 24 at Spa. That's all GT3s. So we've got the Glen, which, you know, we're going to be in the GTP unless it rains. Then we're gonna, I think, maybe have to be in that LMP2. I don't know if iRacing fixed the rain tire in those GTP cars yet.
Yeah, no, we saw how that went. That was
that was
pretty.
Well, it wasn't just us. I mean, you know, when LMP2 cars are winning the top split over GTP cars, something's not right.
Yeah, I remember I was watching like you know, Team Redline, Max Verstappen's team, and they were getting passed by the circuit car, and they were just like, "What is going on?" And that weather transition, that was definitely the car to have.
Yep.
But my dad may be upset if he hears this, but man, that Mustang drove pretty good too, John.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm just, you know, partial to that.
Oh, I feel you. I 100% feel you. But I was really impressed. Man, iRacing. Well, I mean, of course, they got to figure a way to keep sucking money out of us other than the subscription. But man, they just keep doing such a good job. What do we think's next? Are we ever gonna get like drag racing, snowmobile racing, anything crazy?
I think drag racing might be a not too far distant future. So I mean, if you look at some of the cup tracks that have drag race.
Oh, my dad pulled up in front of you.
Yeah, I got wild really quick. He didn't have anywhere to go because he had those other guys on the outside. I couldn't move up. They kind of used him as a pick, which I don't know that was in practice. That's a pretty gnarly thing to do, but it is what it is. But now we got a group here. Now we're going to figure out what this draft is going to do in these corners.
Yeah, we'll get to see here if I think Dan would follow you, but who knows here yet? Looks like he's glued.
Well, I want Dan. Dan's doing a good job getting off my bumper. What I wish he'd do is actually shove me through a corner. Instead, I'm in the sucker hole.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just get up here and push Tate.
Here we go. They're 3 wide in front of you too. Big shove.
I gave him a big shove. Here we go, 4 wide maybe? I don't know. Man, this is going to be fun here tonight. I'm sure Tate was like, holy shit, shoot. He just hit me really hard. Sorry, folks, didn't mean to let that one slip. That's the first time in 3 years.
I've got the over 18 thing checked tonight, I think, for adult thing. So he should be all right, but...
I was just trying to be accurate to his reaction. God, I can't believe I did that. I do apologize. That's the first time like ever.
Oh, big run they got a big run on Cranmer on the bottom.
Yeah, and I'm already seeing that's going to be a thing here tonight. These runs.
Oh, big wreck. My dad bounced off Cranmer and came up and got Dan.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you, these runs, holy cow, I have not felt runs like this anywhere. When you suck up in a very quick hurry.
Yeah, you know, not to throw your game plan out the window, but you got to think coming to the white flag, right? You don't want to be in the lead, do you?
No. I mean, these runs, yeah. I could see that one coming. You're going to have to be careful about your four. Well, I saw it coming, but because they was just trying to get in front where they could push. But I'm here to tell you, the runs that you get in here, you're going to look up, and I can guarantee this will happen tonight. I'm amazed at how big these runs are. Watch this guy, Butcher, behind me when he sucks up. Watch what he does. He's going to go right around me like I'm standing still. Well, he would have if he went to the bottom. I'll give him the top. But if he's got someone pushing him, there's nothing I can do. And two things are going to happen. If I want to block, let's say final lap, I'm probably going to get wrecked. But these runs, someone's going to look in the mirror and think they've got room, and they're going to cut the wheel, and they're going to be there before they know it.
Yeah, as you see now, you two in the line. I mean, you just drove by.
Yeah, yeah, and look, we're going so much quicker. He doesn't really have a chance to even tuck in and catch our draft. We're gone. And at Daytona, Talladega, you know, a couple of cars go by you. You can get right down on the bumper of the other guy's car. It looks like Jim's gonna get a little bit of a tow.
Yeah, but if you pit there with 2 or 3 other cars and you got a 3-4 car pass,
yeah,
he probably can't latch onto you like that if
no.
he's by himself. So that may be something to definitely watch out for tonight.
I'm doing 198 mile an hour down this front stretch here.
That's wild.
That's what Jacob pushing me in a truck.
Yeah, what it says Bowie behind you right now. I pulled the thing up. He was hitting 201, I think, if that's accurate.
Yeah. And see, he went to the high side there, and look at all the ground he lost. So, you know, I don't know how accurate that'll be, because now if he had somebody pushing, I don't know how well that outside will work. Like I said, this track is so wide that outside, I literally think you're probably adding very least a half a mile to your distance every lap, which will really affect gas mileage too.
Yeah, you would think, and I don't know, man. I think it's almost
22 to 23 miles a gallon or laps, by the way.
Okay, so 77 laps. You're pitting at least 3 times.
If you stay on the bottom and nose to tail. You go up on that top, I guarantee it, your laps that you get be down to 19, maybe.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see some guys do that deal where they just hang out in the back here. Maybe don't full throttle this first run and see if they can do kind of like you were talking about, not pit with everybody else. Maybe get their own group to pit with. Because, man, it could be dangerous pitting in a big group here. It really tightens up fast.
Yeah, it does. And like I said, that's going to be the big thing, though. Once we get everybody out here and on the green and everything else, everybody else being under each other and pulling each other, that 3 and 4 wide. Because when you get a run, if you lift and that guy behind you doesn't lift, you're getting run over. If he doesn't swing high or low, or doesn't even have that option, they're going to wreck. This is going to be a very high-speed game of chess, and your awareness better be better than it's been in a while. I mean, all of us, and myself included, really going to have to be sure about making moves.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we've seen people do it before here in other cars. If you get too aggressive pushing, this is a long straightaway. It's easy to blow up here if you don't pay attention to that temperature.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching Dan McLaren. I'm anxious to see what this lap time is. He was glued on the back of Mike Cramner the whole time around. 52.27 and only a 2-car pack, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, I just hit 200 mile an hour down this front stretch behind Bowie. Oh, and I can stay right on him too. But my temperature, yeah, that was a good call, Zach. My temperature has gone up 100 degrees in about a half a lap. I went from about 140, and I'm up to 220.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, you're good for like a solid lap and a half behind the guy in front of you, but that's it because how big this place is. And just being flat out, I don't think you can go 2 full laps pushing the guy without getting the warning at least.
Wow, that's a surprise too. Yeah, because I can stay tucked right up under people here in the corner.
Yeah, he's just costing you guys a little time. He's floating up there in the middle.
Yeah. It's like a driver meeting. The driver's meeting's going on right now.
Well, you heard him. Driver's meeting going on. You see the timer, about 1:30 left in practice, so they'll be rolling into qualifying here before we know it. And actually, real quick before we go into qualifying, John, if you want to talk, you can. Feel free, but I'm going to grab a bottle of water.
Will do here. And folks, thanks for tuning in here to C2C's Bob Light 77. We're here to honor Bob Light, who is a competitor here at C2C, and we're going to go round and round on the iRacing's biggest oval, all in his honor here tonight. And you can go up and down pit road, and you won't find anybody that has anything cross to say about Bob. He was a great competitor, a great friend, and the ultimate sportsman. You know, for as good as he is, there's a lot of other leagues out there where guys that are super fast and they don't share secrets, and they don't want. Bob was an open book. If you needed help, Bob would help you, and that's like I said, I can't say enough about the guy, and then we're gonna surely miss him here at C2C. Kind of give you guys a rundown of the race here tonight. It is going to be 77 laps. It looks like we'll do 2 laps of qualifying here, and pace car speed is going to be a whopping 90 mile an hour with pit road at 65. So look for, and you heard me mention earlier, we're coming out of turn 4. You got to get down from 190 mile an hour, 180 high 80s, 190 mile an hour down to 65 mile an hour, and I don't know, about 3 football fields. So that's going to throw guys for a curve here tonight, and it looks like qualifying is about to begin.
Perfect timing to get back here is, yes, qualifying is kicking off, and I forgot that they raised the pace speed. 90 mile an hour makes me feel a lot better about cautions tonight. I was getting some anxiety about that. But if you stop and
think about that 90 mile an hour, think of going on the highway at 90.
Yeah, my wife isn't very happy when I go 90 down the highway.
Yeah, and the funny thing is we can all agree that's flying, and that's it is what is this, a 3-mile track? So that's still going to take a while to get around here under caution.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, those race car drivers, how spoiled we are. You're right, we complain about 90 miles per hour.
It's all relative. I always tell folks, driving a race car, go back to when you first got your license. You got on the highway, think of what kind of grip you had on the steering wheel. Remember how fast that felt. Fast forward to where you're at now in your life. How do you, when you get on the highway, how are you holding the steering wheel, and how does it feel? It all slows down. It becomes relative because the more you do it. Well, when you drive 100, 120, 130 for a living, I'm telling you, 130 is really no different than going 70 or 80 for a lot of us. It really, really does slow down. And you see them in the NFL too. You hear them about all the games slowing down. I think that's with anything in life. If you do it, get the repetition out of it, everything slows down and makes sense a lot more,
Oh, yeah. Even, not something as simple, but like an oddball sport is like pool or chess.
Well,
you just
even even starting a new job, they're throwing things at you right and left. Anybody that started a new job, and you have that first week or two, that whole fire hose mentality where they're throwing everything at you, shooting you with the fire hose, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to remind this. Well, fast forward a month or two down the road, and it's all simple,
Yep. Right now, Dan McLaren, he went purple first sector. We'll take a look at times here as they're coming on down. Dan went purple, so that'll put him on pole with a 55.98. Right now, John Rayner with a 56.12 P2. It just keeps changing. Kemper, we'll see it rolling as they go, but see on the bottom of the screen, green will be their best sector.
Yeah, and Zach, there's a couple of strategies probably at play there and why it's jumping around. Some guys are probably going high like what I did to try to burn as much fuel so this car is as light as it can be the second lap to just eat that, maybe that little bit, that extra thousandth out of it.
Yeah, and everybody, you don't know this right now, and I'm going to try to draw this out to not give you the yips, but while you were talking, you just hit purple sector there in sector 1, so you're the guy to watch here coming out of 4 down the front stretch. Let's see what time John Hine puts in. It's going to be faster. Where does he go? P2. Oh, man. Okay, so in my SDK, you guys are tied. You're going to have to let me know what those exact times are.
923 to 926. There's that extra. I just got a little closer to the outside wall than I did, and got that extra thousandth or so out of it, the car. But that's a pretty good deal. We'll start up front there. I'm going to have Jeff Kemper and unless anybody else jumps up there, Mike Kramer behind. So just got to put my foot down and look forward. That's really about all of us can do now. At least I don't have to lift and try to get those poles right off the bat. I probably will pretty quick. I do expect one line to go over the other, and I won't be surprised to see 3 wide here pretty quick, just because of the big runs that we were getting. I think guys are going to have to pull out a line, not because they want to, just so they don't run over the guy in front of them.
Yeah, and I mean, it's such an appetizing track. Don't want to go 3 wide. I mean,
yeah.
It's really inviting.
Hey, you're like, hey, I got an entire zip code up there I can go run in, so yeah, why not? But no, I think some guys are going to be pulling out for no other reason not to run over the guy in front of them. And that's going to be real important to those guys that see those kind of runs. I hate to say this, but hold the wheel. First part of this race, the blocks should be minimal, I would think, because you don't want to junk everybody, 2 laps, 3 laps into the race because you're trying to block for 5th place, when there's 70 some odd laps. So, but we'll see.
Gordon Spain, purple second sector, but you guys had the edge on him there in sector 1, as he's going to be P3 after 1 lap here. Roger Craig green, little better time for him both times around. Let's see where this lap time goes. He's going to keep the same position, but did get faster. So not as much improvement as Roger would have liked there.
Well, and there's really not a whole lot of time between everybody. And I do think the difference between the first 4 or 5 guys is, I don't know if to be true, but it won't be surprise me if you go back and they look and they all ran their first lap up against the outside wall. And like I said, it burned a little more fuel. And, you're talking probably couple thousands, maybe more, burning that fuel off. I mean, you're talking losing a pound, 2 pounds maybe.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. And that's why I think Gordon Spain maybe messed up a little bit. He ran that out lap against the wall and then went for it on the first lap rather than go for it with a light fuel load. And you saw his sector 2 time was slower than his first time. So right now, that's all for cars on the track here. Everybody else is probably just willing to start this thing in the back, as as well as I do, John. 77 laps here, man. Long way.
Yeah, don't get caught up where if you see your favorite driver on the board and think, oh, they didn't get a good qualifying spot, trust me, does not matter in the least where you're starting here in this thing. I will tell you too. We were talking earlier about the new build with these trucks and some of the aerodynamic changes and some of the even the chassis changes. At least here on this super speedway, they don't feel any different. You talked about being snug, even with somebody on my bumper and somebody in front of me. It did feel snug here. The mile and a halfs when we go back next week and continue our trails and our weekly program. Um, these trucks are going to handle a lot different on the mile and a halfs and mile tracks. I got a feeling.
No, you're exactly right. And not to change subjects, but man, John, I have told you multiple times Bill Calder. I absolutely love this man, okay? He's
Yes.
watching the broadcast tonight. He knew who I was talking about in the street stocks, Mike Schultz. That is who I was talking about. So thank you, Bill. We're glad you're
When it
watching.
comes to C2C, Bill is the encyclopedia of C2C. I know he doesn't get far enough credit for all the work he does behind the scenes, but yeah, Roger's a front facing guy, and Roger, I take nothing away from him because he does way more than anybody knows. The Bill's right there with him as far as making this league work and run smoothly and everything else. So Bill, hope you're feeling better, and hopefully we see you back on the track soon.
Yeah, we absolutely can't wait till he's back on the track. Everybody, he shared with us he's cancer free, so that's freaking awesome.
Congratulations, Bill. Yes, it is.
Not too sure how much time we have left here. My SDK doesn't want to tell me.
138, and if these guys aren't going to qualify, they could just hit their not qualifying button. There's a iRacing a couple of seasons back put a little blue button up there, so if you didn't want to qualify, you could just boom hit it. But uh, I both like that and I dislike it because before I went up to hit qualifying, I hit that button on accident. Oh, I was ticked. They should put it like to the side or something, not right below the other one.
Yeah, or even with our settings, they say, "Are you sure?"
Nah.
Just maybe give us.
Well, you got to you got to understand. I'm not that fast. I'm old. I turned 50 in like a couple of weeks, so I don't know if that's retread time yet or if I'm still in the pre-treads. I with their new Tuesday night lineup, I need to get that clarified because I might go, throw some dirt with those guys on Tuesday if I qualify.
Yeah, that's a good question. Man, if my dad, this is terrible, 67, so he's 57 years old. They let him race, so I'm not sure what age it begins.
I think it's 55.
Okay, well, I think they'd make a exception for the professor.
Nah.
$20 here. I actually found the button. If people watching
Yep.
didn't notice
15.
that.
Yeah, I love this track. It has 3 scoring pylons there. Hopefully NASCAR, someone from NASCAR is watching this, and fans like the pylons. Whoever up in NASCAR decided to get rid of pylons probably should lose their job. Just a quick soapbox on that.
Oh, you're exactly right. Like, I mean, even like one of the first things I think about, of like Indy or the Brickyard, is that big tower there. Like that's, oh man. You got to have one of them for American motorsport. It's like a necessity. But it looks like we're getting ready to take the grid here. I'll go ahead.
This is gonna be a long pace lap.
Yeah, it is. They got you guys sitting on the front stretch there.
All right, we have 5 repairs, Zach. 5 quick repairs.
Oh, so I expect nobody to be aggressive, is what you're saying, right?
Well, you could be aggressive in the front. I mean, and I say that because in the first part of the race, you probably should figure out where your limits are. What can you do? What can you not get away with? Once you get that figured out, just ride. If you want to figure out how long it takes you to get to the front, to the back, or whatever. I mean, you see this in real life too. Figure it out and then settle in.
Exactly right. Got a long way to go here, but I'm going to go ahead. Let's read off the starting grid here for you. Starting on the pole, we got the 88 of Dan McLaren on the outside, the man in the booth with me in the 71. John Hines starting inside of row number 2. We have Gordon Spain in the 38 and his outside. John's teammate in the 181, Jeffrey Kemper. Brandon Dittmer, the Spider Monkey's going to roll off P5 into his outside. Mike Cramner in the 70. Inside of row number 4, we've got John Rayner in his outside. My dad in the 37, Tim Chapman. Roger Craig's going to roll off in P9 into his outside, the 058 of Jim Bowie. Inside of row number 6 is going to be Gary Sigelkow into his outside, Jacob Butcher. Starting P13 is going to be the 8 of Jeremy Tate into his outside, the 07 of Preston Cramner. Remember, he's running the 77 paint scheme tonight in honor of his teammate Bob Light. Starting 15th is going to be Smokey Terry Landis and his outside, Greg Parmley in the 4, and rounding out the field tonight is going to be Gary Offit, but actually I don't think Greg Parmley or Gary Offit made the call, so.
And just for the record, this pacing at 90 mile an hour, this is a lot harder than pacing at 60. I feel like I'm flying.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm trying to race. I feel like I'm trying to race Dan.
Pace car's off as Green is getting ready to fly here at the Iracing Super Speedway. We're off here. Dan McLaren, a pretty good jump here. Gordon Spain right behind him all over the rear bumper. Not going to give John Hine any room to get down, but he's got his teammate behind him, Jeffrey Kemper, and I don't think they're in any big hurry at this point. Long way to go.
Yeah, Jeff wasn't really on my bumper where I looked over and Gordon was already pushing McLaren.
Yes, getting scary in front of you. Is that John Rayner?
That was Rayner. He got a big squirrel. Almost created a Code Brown moment for us all.
Yeah, that got wild. Lap 1 already, but Dan McLaren, he's
yeah, somebody hit that bump and flew right up in front of me.
Yeah, it was either Gordon Spain or Jeffrey Kemper here, I believe, but
well, got caught into it, but yeah, somebody hit that bump and floop, right up the track they went.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see here. This track's so big that it doesn't register wrecks the same way, so I'm gonna have to do some rewinding here. Let's see here.
Yeah, I saw his truck go down, and about the time I saw it hit the bottom of that bump, up the track he went.
Yep, it was Roger Craig. We saw it. He hit the bump, and that thing just, man, it just tightened up. It didn't look like he really stood a chance. So I'm going to give you guys a better view of it here now that we know what happened. But yeah, you were the first guy in the danger zone there.
Yeah, and I can't tell if I got damage or not. I guess I got 5 of these bad boys, so I think I'm going to take a faster pair here. But yeah, I mean, you know, I was up in that second lane, and I don't know, it looked wild because, I mean, it looked like he ramped out of there, and I don't think he did. So I don't know if some net code, you know, because we were running that close to each other when it hit the bump. So maybe that's a little learning lesson to give a little bit more room around that bump. Because I was pretty tight on the door still, and I saw him hit that bump, and I don't know if I even went up around it. He was up in front of me so quick.
Yeah, I think we just saw maybe what's going to cause the big fatality on maybe the last lap or two to go. If a guy shoots down there to the bottom and thinks he can hold it down there, man, with the way you hit that bump, you may have another thing coming. I think you got to arc it in there down the middle. I don't know if it's safe to enter in that low.
Oh, man, I forgot to click my faster pair.
I was going to tell you not to anyways. I don't know if you wanted to use it this early.
Well, I would think with this much speed, I think aero, I would even think the least bit of aero. The last thing I want to do is not be able to keep up. You a place like Daytona, you can have the nose ripped off, and as long as you're in line, you can reasonably stay up. But I kind of worry. But heck, just for fun, maybe I will. I don't even know if I had a whole lot of damage to be worked on now that you say that.
Nah, I looked at it there on the broadcast. It looked like you only had a little bit of left front damage, and man, I want to have more faith, John, but man, I think we may be getting another one here in a couple laps.
Yeah, that bump, man. When I was tooling around here, and I kind of wondered that earlier too about, and I even pointed out that I think that's going to be the trouble spot. Man, oh man, I didn't think it'd be that much trouble.
No, that's what I mean. We kind of got to talk about things sometimes, but when I was on board with you, it definitely looked like it may cause some issue. But man, the way Roger's truck just shot up the track like that.
Well, and that's why I don't think Roger did anything wrong. I do think there might have been a little bit of net code in that, even though you might not see the cars push one way or another. But when you say net code, for those that don't have iRacing, because all of us we're all over the country. Roger's up in Canada. I'm down here in the States, and we got, all points, from coast to coast. We've even guys from Australia come race with us, but we're all racing on the same track at the same time. And with technology, and the guys a lot smarter than me could probably explain this a lot better, but a lot of what we do is done by predictive code, where we're going, what's going to happen when we get there by our inputs, our feet, our hands. And when you hit a bump like that, that might play something into it. Like I said, and that's something to take note of. I was pretty tight on his door, but maybe I need to give a little bit more room, because that's going to be a problem. Hey, Roger's back out there. He's right next to me here in that Bass Pro Shops car.
Yeah, and did they say anything? Are they going to give waiver rounds in the drivers?
I'm sure. We're getting ready to go green, so that's probably why they didn't. It would actually really hurt Roger to wave him around. He wouldn't make it back around, and he'd be stuck out there. He'd be right back where he is within 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, no, that's actually, I kind of didn't think about that. That's a really good point. That's almost a penalty in itself. He'd have to go drive by himself.
Well, and if he does, and the field goes by him nose to tail, we talked about earlier about being able to cut down. They may go by him, and he might lose the draft all over again, and then end up 2 laps down out of it. So he's definitely better not doing it right now.
Oh. Pace car is off, getting ready to go here. I don't think we have a Geico restart zone here. So I'm not sure when the leader. Oh, yeah, we do. There it is on the wall. And there Dan goes as we're off.
It's confusing with those iRacing blue, that inside wall. The whole thing looks like a Geico restart zone.
Yeah, it really does. That blue iRacing paint. They could have maybe thrown some red in there, done something a little different, but makes it more interesting, I guess. As Gordon Spain, he's looking to the outside of Brendan Dittmer, thinking about trying to start a high side. Oh, he gets into the side of Dan McLaren. Going down the back stretches, they're able to keep it going, but boy, that had to have everybody behind him scared. Oh, somebody lost it there.
The yellow flag is out.
Preston, maybe? Oh, let's go back and see what happened there.
That was on me, Zach. I lifted and I hit Preston, and man, it still sucked me right into the back of him.
Let's see here if we can get a good view of what happened. So coming out at 2, you get a good run. He just gave the guy in front of him a bump and checked up. So that's why he suddenly checked up. You could blame yourself for it, but that's more of a racing deal than anything. I don't think he'd be super frustrated.
Yeah, but here's why it's my fault, because I could see that happening, and I could see that we're all kind of bumping along there and everything else, and that just really surprised me, the closing speed. But that's still on me. just because I'm the tail car man. I'm the one with the wheel in the hand and my foot in the gas. Another early lesson though. These runs are going to be really, really hard to manage.
Oh, for sure. Don't get me wrong. Blame's on you 1,000%. I just mean, but when he looks at it, he'll a guy in a car can kind of see. It's not like you went in there and turned him or tried to do something dumb. It was just being a little too aggressive under certain circumstance, and live to race another day. Good thing you saved that one quick repair there.
Well, I was on the gas to try to let him back up too, and we just kind of got. I mean, I was actually trying to come to a stop, so he had room to come back up, and like I said, just didn't get woed up quick enough there. But long way to go here, and we'll come in here, get a fast repair, and I'm definitely gonna hang out in the back. I think I've had enough carnage early.
No, I think you guys are at that. Not that you ever, want to wreck people or be involved in that kind of stuff too, but you got to look at it, try to take a positive out of it. Right now, let's say everybody does settle down. You guys get a green flag pit stop. You've kind of separated yourself from that front pack. You guys can go a little longer than them now.
Yeah, and if we do get green flag, which I think we will get green flag pit stops here eventually, in hindsight, we probably should have done a pit party to go out and run in a pack here before we raced. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I guarantee it, somebody's gonna make a mistake. They may not wreck, but speeding penalties and stuff like that coming out of that corner at 190 and getting woed up to 65. You don't have a lot of time to do that.
Nope, not at all. And I mean, not throwing anybody under the bus, but like I said, there are certain guys you definitely, they take it a little easier going to the pits than if you were behind that 88. So
yeah, but on the flip side of that, they don't get the speeding penalties and don't get run in. And I'm guilty of this, trying to get all I can get. I've screwed up and ended up with a speeding penalty. So I mean, it can work for you and against you both ways. I mean, there's times that guys have held me up. And in the back of my mind, and we've all had this happen, but at least I have many times. You ever behind somebody that's just driving you mad because you want them to go about 4 or 5 mile an hour faster, and the next thing you know, you see a cop on the side of the road, and you're thankful that guy's in front of you to keep you from speeding?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I take it from where sometimes I'm the aggressive guy going in the pits, and I hate doing it. Sometimes I ruin the guy in front of me's day because I know where I'm going to break, and I'm just so set on me that I don't really worry about
we
the car in
talked
front
about
of me.
road racing. We talked about road racing transferring over. I think my entrances to pit road have definitely improved because of road racing, because there's a lot of times you've got to do hard braking to make corners and stuff, and you just get the feel of that stuff doing some road racing.
No, yeah, and a lot of that too is like, perfect example in the road racing, and guys are going to struggle with it here. You can't go 100% brake or you're going to lock it up. So it's really about, you got to find that good 50 to 60% feel and not lock them up, but get all of it, that you can at the same time. We're going to be getting the green flag here when they come out of turn 4, but lap 9, long way to go here. So hopefully they settle down a little bit for us. I did notice though, maybe they aren't going to give wave rounds. Like I believe Roger was involved in that.
Well, he was involved.
Oh,
yeah.
But I just mean, I didn't know if they were going to force wave around tonight, like they do sometimes, but it doesn't look like it is.
They may not have an admin to do that.
Green.
Slow start for Dan McLaren, as it looked like possibly his teammate Brandon Dittmer beat him to the line. If he did, that may be a black flag. Not too
somehow.
Sure.
We got a big checkup, so I don't know if they were playing games up there that might have caused that, but we were coming into that zone and had a huge checkup on the inside line.
Yeah, I could see guys diving down to the inside back there. It looked
Yeah,
like
it was one of
something
them.
happened. Not too sure if Dan maybe slowed down and then just checked up from there. But, man, right now, that 38 of Gordon Spain, he is all over the 88 of Dan McLaren. And, you know, you did it there for a couple laps and warm-ups. Is it worth, though, risking overheating right now?
Yeah, you got to get air on that nose. That's for sure.
And they're not settling down. Tim Chapman there, he thought about sticking in the middle 3 wide, got back down low, but I think that's almost the product of what John said earlier. Maybe not guys, maybe they don't want to go 3 wide, but you're just coming up on the guy in front of you so fast that that's maybe the safest option, to go out there and take some air or put some air on the front of your car. But we're 3 wide up front. Gordon Spain put it in the middle for a second, but Brandon Dittmer, big run on the outside. He's your new leader right now, but I think that's going to change here. 3 wide for the lead again. John Rayner and Gordon Spain go to the middle line. The Spider Monkey. Oh, Mike Cramner!
The yellow flag is out.
We saw it. We saw it happen. Same thing that happened to Roger Craig, and man, I'm hearing a bunch of cars blowing motors. Looks like my dad included in the 37. He's got a tow. Mike Cramner's got a tow. Oh, let's go back and see if we can try to get you a better view of this here. So that was pretty early on. Let's go a little further back here.
Yeah, the guys are definitely being ambitious here, and you said it though. I mean, there's so much room out here. You see that wide open space. Why not put your truck there? And oh man, another tough break for some guys. But hey, I finally missed one.
Oh man, that was a real tough break for my dad in Preston. Man. Oh man, my old man barely got hooked by Mike, and then when he was spinning around, him and Preston locked up together, and they both synchronized swam head on into the wall, and they both blew up. We lost 3 motors in this one accident. But right here, keep an eye on that green truck. Actually, you know what? We're going to go on board with him just so you can see how it just tightens up on him going over that bump. The 3 wide in front of him maybe just enters a little bit too low, and yeah, he actually clipped the apron. So that was the culprit there. Just a little too low. It turned in a little too early. Clipped the apron, and mayhem ensues from there. But we're 12 laps in now, able to get some. And John, while I was looking at all those replays, did all the leaders pit? Did some, or no? Here we go. Looking at it.
Just Dan. I'm coming in and just topping off fuel because hey, why not?
So the top 6 have yet to pit. Jeff Kemper pit on lap 6. So he's the first guy to hit pit road, and now, you know, John, if you're Jeff and it doesn't say pit road closed here, if he's thinking to himself, hey, I'm the only guy who pit on lap 6, do you go in and top off now? Because man, he could be lost here if you guys stay green.
That'd make me nervous, but I think we're a little ways yet before we hit the green flag run. Just a hunch.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you don't want to see it happen, but 3 guys blow up, 1 wreck. I mean, it's numbers are going to start to get limited here, and now you've got guys. Jim Bowie, my dad, Preston Cramner, they're a lap down. So you got 3 guys fighting for the lucky dog. Roger was able to get the lucky dog last time around. So he's back on the lead lap. Mike Cramner, it looks like he's possibly 2 laps down. Unless this ends up updating and changing.
I didn't need to tow, but that would be one benefit for these guys that do have to tow. This track is so big in these caution laps. I guess at 90 mile an hour, probably not going to take quite as long as what they normally would, but Definitely longer than, let's say, if we were at Bristol.
No, you're exactly right. Because I mean, my dad and Preston, they both had to tow there. They only went one lap down, so it's a big help. I mean, if this happens, even I believe it, like Daytona. I mean, you're going at least the lap down. I think you get 2 laps down. But it's being a big track. That's a nice benefit.
I think I should have pitted again. I don't know if I want to be all the way up here. Kind of I'm going to take this hang out in the back strategy.
Yeah, well, soon where you're at may be the back if this war of attrition keeps on.
Well, but I think we're seeing the aggressive racing up front, guys trying to get up to the lead and whatnot. So, I'd like to be back a little further to kind of see where things are going and whatnot. Like I said, God knows I made a mistake earlier where I popped Preston there. But, yeah, I definitely want to stay around the back here for a while.
And Dan McLaren, you talked about topping off. He went in and topped off again. He's going to catch you guys. He's 12 seconds back, but he was pushing it. I didn't know if he was going to catch the field or not.
Well, he stayed in. I don't know if he was actually manually fixing his damage because I followed him in and I left before him and I did gas only. So, no need to take tires. So he may have been fixing some damage maybe.
He may have took the old Zach Chapman P break. I'm famous for those here at the Super Speedways. You have plenty of time to sprint to the bathroom here as the green flag's getting ready to roll off. John Rayner's giving Gordon Spain a big leash here.
Green, green, green.
Slow start for Brandon Dittmer. John Rayner, the outside car, was able to slot second in line here. We're back green, but long way to go here. Brandon probably knows, man, I don't need to force the issue. If he wants down, come on down. But now behind John Hine, that's going to be another battle on the track to watch. That 77 and 37 machine, they're racing for the lucky dog. So little battle in its own here.
And Zach, I am at about 90% throttle down the backstretch. I'm back to full throttle, but coming out of the corner, I'm 90%. Or if I was at 100, I'd have ran over the guys in front of me.
Oh, some guys hit the apron in front of you. That's a case of, I saw a couple guys do it. You want to trust that guy in front of you, John. And here at this restrictor plate racing, you want to follow that guy, man. But if he makes one mistake like that hitting the apron, you see 3 guys follow suit. Man, that was
yeah, and I'm here on the bottom too. I got to figure out how to fall back. I don't want to be up in this. Guys are switching lanes and
yeah, like I say,
I'm moving around.
You got that 37 behind you. He's racing the car to the outside of him. So yeah, you're in the danger zone, bud. Good luck. They're going to see if they can get something going up high. Who is that first truck up there? Jeremy Tate in the 8. Let's see if they can.
Guys hit that bump again now.
That's a big one.
Is out.
That's a big one. John Rayner looked like he got in the inside wall, hit that apron, and man, caution is out.
Yeah, they hit that apron, and I'm going to tell you, I've never been sick in my Oculus before. I don't know if Zach, and I don't want to be self-serving here, but go to my in-car. If you want to see the banking, watch from my in-car.
Definitely take a look at that here. So maybe I rewinded a little too far back, but it's tough to find a marker here. I think, yeah, okay. Should be coming up here in turns 3 and 4. So keep an eye on that yellow 302 of John Rayner. And he's got plenty of room in front of him. He just gets a lot of momentum going into the corner. Yeah, he just got real close to Brandon Dittmer. Maybe didn't want to get into the back of him, and man, that just happened so quick. Let's go on board here with John Hine. Apron, spin around.
Watch the banking when I'm pointing down the track.
That's wild.
That's like full inversion.
Able to keep it rolling there, though, at least. So won't have to tow, but... Man, we lost some cars there. I believe we're going to go back and try to get one more look at this. I think my dad gets some incident points. So did Preston Cramner. So it doesn't look like we're getting any lucky dogs here.
Yeah, your dad's got the lucky dog. Tim Chapman, 37's got the lucky dog.
Okay, so he was able to keep it off of you. It looked like he got squirrely there.
Yeah, I turned down and that transition upset the track so much because of the banking. I couldn't hang on to the thing at all.
Let's see here. Let's ride on board this 37 machine here going into turn 3. You hear him, he's already off the gas. He actually drove himself down on the apron to enter the corner, which created a gap behind you, so his mess up maybe actually saved his day there, but gotta take it how you can get it.
And we've seen, what, 4 big wrecks now, and what, 3 out of the 4 have been down there in that turn at that bump.
Yeah, you know, I haven't driven this track in a long time, so I'd be ignorant if I was telling people, but man, what's inviting drivers to turn down on the apron?
Yeah,
like
if you can get on me real quick, when you guys are hitting this yellow line, and if you hit that yellow line right there and that bump at the same time, you're not in control of your car. I've hit it, but when I've known I'm going to hit it, I've actually been lifting it and scaling back to 90-95% throttle.
Yeah, and you know, that's kind of what I described. I don't know if my dad did it purposely, but that's what happened to him. He rolled out of it and he was able to save it. Didn't go up the track as high as those other guys, and you don't want to plan on making the mistake, but I think you're right. If that's the way to bail out of that, you just got to sacrifice that corner entry speed and make sure you don't lose it and get into the car on the outside of you. Not that it means absolutely anything right now, and I'll probably jinx him and he'll probably be upset about it, but our Charger right now up 12 spots. Terry Landis P3, long way to go, so I'm sure he wants to stay there, but man, we got a bunch of other guys who got something to say about that, so we'll have to see here. Long way to go.
Yeah, and what needs to really happen here is the guys on the outside. You know, remember the first wreck there where I was down on Roger's door? I'll be honest with you. We should be having guys, if you're on that outside line, enter in that third line. It's all right maybe to dime in the corner and then come down a little bit, but that'll allow that first guy to drive around that bump. But if guys have, if you've got someone to your outside and you're forced to drive through that bump, we're going to keep repeating this over and over again.
Yeah, it's going to have to be I know nobody really wants to do it, but man, it's almost to the point where maybe you want to just single file this thing for 15 laps or so. Try to get a
I'm gonna try.
pit stop in.
I'm gonna try to get to the high side, and that's where I'm staying. I'm gonna stay away from that bump, but I don't know. This is a self-cleaning track. You know, what goes up has to come down, and these cars are hitting that and going straight up the track, but then they're coming right back down. So I don't know if you're really safe in either lane.
Yeah, you know,
or I guess the place you're safe is where your dad went, the apron.
Yeah, or I was going to say, speaking of that, not to get you real quick before we go back green, but is it a case of Days of Thunder? Do you drive into the smoke?
Yeah, yeah, you pretty much have to. As gnarly as that is, yeah, you really do. And just pray, you know, that momentum is taking the car somewhere out of your path. You do need to lift a little bit. You don't want to stay full throttle driving into them. Oh, we got cars together.
Yeah, it looked like Gordon Spain maybe floated up the track a little bit. Couldn't tell who he got into there. Maybe Roger Craig, but they're surviving. Going to keep on rolling. And now is where, you know, you don't want there to be an issue, but that big gap in front of Roger, man, when you guys suck back up on that front group, this is when the yeehaw gets started.
Yeah, well, those guys on the outside lane looked to stay higher that time. And you saw those other cars jump around going into that corner, that they had the room to jump around there. So that looked like that was a good deal there. Hopefully we can continue to do that.
Not too sure what happened to Kemper there, but man, he had to dive down pit road. Couldn't tell if he got loose coming out.
Did he have a stop and go? Roger got loose and lost the draft. I've gone back to him to try to pick him up. Of course, he's going to just drive by me. I guess he didn't realize I was trying to help him, but now if this turd drives off from me, I'm going to be mad.
Yeah, Kemper's actually stopping in the pits, so not too sure what happened to him, but
might have got to stop and go.
yeah, he's still there on pit road, so he did something to make somebody mad. And that's, man, looks like field here getting pretty good run. That's not the time when you want to have a penalty, but the high
Zach,
line,
I got a tow right now off of Roger. I'm going 208 mile an hour. And Roger's probably going about 200, 199, 200. That's an 8 mile an hour difference. So those runs I was telling you about, that big of a mile an hour difference is huge.
And you know, I know it's early, but are you worried about just having you and Roger back there? Do you think it's going to stay?
I am now. I'm starting to think I shouldn't have been such a nice guy.
Yeah, because I mean, if they, it looks like, I mean, you know, I don't want to speak for everybody.
Roger and I are in trouble.
Well, now you got the.
I didn't realize it was that big of a difference.
Well, we're
with all due respect to Roger.
Stretch. Hold your breath. Big push from Preston Cramner, who was getting pushed by Dan McLaren. He shoved Terry Landis, and that's going to put him out front. But, oh, Gordon Spain thought about pinching that 88. Jeremy Tate got some help from John Rayner. Is he going to save it? He floats up. No, we're going to have a wreck. Big wreck. Oh, man. And that's what you needed, John.
Sure is.
So let's go back and take a look at this here. John Rayner, we saw it. Gives Jeremy Tate a little bit of a bump. We got to go back a little bit further than that. A little further than that, too? All right, so let's find John Rayner here. Oh, okay. So Tate actually clips the apron a little bit first, floats up, and as he's getting out of the gas, Rayner's right there. Can't do anything. Gets into him. Big mess. Rayner can't save it. Oh, big head-on hit to the wall for the 302. Oh, man. And then the 35. Who is that? Gets collected. That's a tough break. Man, the accidents happen here so fast, John.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, and that's that speed. It's just, you know, you're going to go where the truck's carrying you at that point.
Man. All right. Well, starting to get a little.
Hey, Zach, I know you got all your overlays and stuff on. Are you able to see the entries on the iRacing entries? If you can, tell me what my quality number is, because I've got a yellow bar and I don't want to start blinking in front of, especially here. I don't need to be blinking in front of these guys.
Yeah, so a little insider information. You guys will get to see it, but no, dude, you're perfect quality. You're 100.
That's weird. All right, at least it's been hanging. It hasn't been fluctuating. Yeah, because this is not a track where if you're on somebody's bumper, you want them blinking.
But yeah, man. Did anybody? Brandon Dittmer has yet to pit.
Well, we've had a lot of cautions, but I would be pitting because he is, if we get 4 or 5 laps, he's counting on more cautions. But if we get, I would think at this point, 5 or 6 laps of green flag, he's going to be in trouble. Oh, I didn't mean to take tires, but I took tires.
Did they limit your tires?
No, I guess it doesn't matter.
Let's see if is Brandon in Discord. Yeah, I'm about to sneeze, so I'm gonna mute my mic here.
Hey, while we're under caution here, why don't we bring Garager up? It'd be a good time to talk about what's going on in C2C over the summer.
You know, that's a good idea. Let's bring him up here. Hey, Roger, you got John and Zach up here, man. You got a copy? Hey, Roger, John and Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy? He might have us muted here, John.
Say what?
Oh,
I can hear you.
There he is. So we figured we'd bring you up here real quick. What's John and I were wondering? We shared what we were excited about, but what's your most exciting schedule thing on the schedule this season?
Oh, geez, you got me thinking now. Maybe the 410's coming back, I guess.
That's a perfect answer because we've all answered something differently now. And it is exciting to have the 410s back. John, are you going to run any of that?
Yeah, I'll probably run a little bit of that. You know, I think the schedule, and you know, I know a lot of folks don't realize all the stuff that goes behind the scenes in these schedules, but Roger, we've really got a nice schedule. I think it's going to flow good, give people opportunities to go out and do other things. It's not going to be so heavy, you know, first part of the week this season. What are your expectations this season? You think any things can trickle over into the fall?
Oh, definitely. I think you know, every time I think that, you know, okay, this is it, this is the final setup. But you know, it turned out that the micros, you know, they were a fad. We had like 25, 30 cars at the beginning of the season and 4 or 5 at the end. So, you know, you learn as you go, and we're trying to street stocks again. Hopefully, you know, guys will not drive as aggressively as they did before. It's going to be interesting to see how that is, and how Wednesday's attended. Like the summer, we are expecting the numbers to drop a bit, but we had some runs last night. We didn't have a lot of guys, but I think in the races last night, as a Hometown Heroes dry run, I don't think there was a guy in there with at least 10 seasons of experience. Most of the guys are almost like original. It was a blast last night. We didn't have the numbers, and I think even if we don't have the numbers, you know, say on a Wednesday night in the summer, it's still going to be good racing because you know, the guys are showing up to have some fun, and everybody was driving, you know, within themselves. Not like here. And I caught your comment about I left you behind. I waited up for you, and you know,
yes.
I lost the field.
Well,
that's all right. This might not turn 4 when we go green here.
Green.
Well, hey, Roger, I'll send you back up there, man, but good luck here, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. It's a big race. It's a long race.
Yeah, and, you know, speaking of a long race, I wanted to tell him under caution, but I don't want to throw something at him. When I checked your signal quality, I ended up taking a peek at something else here. This session time is set for 1 hour and 50 minutes, Sean. So you better tell these guys to behave, or this thing is going to cut short if we don't get some green flag laps.
Oh, that'll be an absolute shame.
Yeah, they set the race for 1 hour and 50 minutes. So, I mean, if we get some green flag runs in here, we should be pretty good. But this thing started around, what? We went to qualifying at 9 o'clock about 10. So we've been going for like 40 minutes. So we have about 1 hour and 10 minutes left. So boys better behave here.
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of jockeying again up front here, and I'm not really sure how I keep ending up here.
Yeah, there we go. I can actually bring up the time. We got 1 hour and 11 minutes left, so behave here.
207 mile an hour through the corner, Zach.
couple cars jockeying around in front of you too. So
Yeah, their guys are blocking. I don't know who's in that, but Gordon tried to get up and block that outside lane because I had a run and got bumped and up into the wall. And yeah, I know we see it on TV and it looks cool, but this is not. I don't know if you want to be doing that in iRacing too much.
No, I mean, especially, you know, not to like call anybody out, but lap 27, after we've had all these cautions, just let the guys go by, slot back in line, long way to go.
Yep, hold your line.
I mean, really, you know, guys like you right now, Brandon Dittmer hasn't pitted. You want him to get off sequence. You want him to kind of win his race. He's a guy that could win this thing, so you really want it to stay green as long as you can and try to separate
211 mile an hour in the center of the corner.
Yeah, I'm going to have to bring up your dashboard here.
It's just pegged. It hasn't lived.
Yeah, it's telling me you're going 211 right now. Now you're dropped down a little bit when you lifted.
Yep, I drug the brake a little bit not to run over Dan.
Man, the guys behind you, my dad included, they tried to enter that 3 wide. That almost went bad.
Yeah.
Tim Chapman had to back out of that, but lived to fight another day. You're seeing Roger Craig back there just maintaining the back. Didn't lose the draft, just being smart. Let's see here. Jeremy Tate, he is a lap down. So is Jeff Kemper, and Jeff Kemper's behind him. They're in their own 2-car battle. If you're Jeff Kemper, you want to try to get in front of him just in case a caution comes out.
This is so wild that I'm actually using the brake down the front stretch because used to some tracks you can kind of crack the throttle to stay off somebody's bumper, but here it just sucks you right into them. You have to trail brake if you want to stay right under their rear spoiler. I found that out with Preston when I sucked up into him earlier, but now I'm trail braking and that's working out way better.
And that 88 glued onto that 83 in front of you. And man, I said it once, I'll say it again. You guys get a long green flag run. That thing is going to be screaming for some air. But Preston Cranmer, they were trying to get a run on the outside, not content with just running single file right now. They got a big run coming out of 2 here. Looks like maybe Dan thought about blocking and opened the door for John to go on the bottom. And John Hine with a big run going to the lead in that 71 as the 37 behind him. Almost 4 wide there for a second, but the lines on the high side get big runs coming out of the corner. We've seen that. Maybe
yeah, I think my pusher must have gotten off my bumper coming out of 2 because
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, because man, it was like I just drug the brake down the whole front stretch. Yeah. If you lose that pusher, I mean, you just saw I had the lead, and now I'm back to what, 7th, all in just down the front stretch.
Yeah, no, Tim Chapman, he was the one behind you. He just wasn't on you, and you could see the guys above you. They were.
Yeah, it looked like he got loose. So not only was he not behind me, but he fell way behind me.
Oh,
wow,
man.
there's Sigel call. Whoa. He hit that bump, and that was almost all she wrote.
Yeah, and it looked like Terry Landis thought about getting in there behind you. He had made a quick jerk to the left. Tim Chapman went down on the apron, but was able to save it again. But, man, Gary Sigelkow in the middle, 3 wide right now. He's pinching Preston Cramner up the hill a little bit. Gonna come down the hole.
Wow, he almost drove right into the side of Spain.
Yeah, Gordon Spain, I'll tell you what, that's one of the best jobs going into corner entry we've seen. He had no room at all. He had to hold that thing down, and big run.
Oh, Dittmer's trying to throw Dittmer tried to throw a block there. Luckily, he realized he was late.
Gary Sigelkow up top, 4 wide.
Watch this bump.
Oh, Tim Chapman entered in too early. Man, he keeps going in and hitting that apron. I'm going to have to get on the old man about that. He's being a little too twitchy. Just got to be smooth there. That's going to come back and haunt him in these later laps. But right now, John Hine, P2, Tim Chapman looking to the outside. Big push from the 83 of Brandon Dittmer. Just the 37 to just a little side to side. It's going to be tough for Brandon to stay glued. And the 37, he almost hung Brandon out to dry. Tried to float back up, give him some pull again. Now he's on the high side, 3 wide. He's got a pusher from Terry Landis, but the middle line seems to be moving right now. Preston Cramner shoving the 83 of Brandon Dittmer. Lap 33 of 77, getting closer to the halfway point here as we're going to go right on board with the 07, but dressed up in the 77 machine this week for Bob Light.
You know, I actually think the middle lane is where to be. I think your middle lane is getting massive runs coming out of 4. So for the finish of this, I think you're going to want to be in that second line. And down here, the bottom works better, or down to 1 and 2. I think that bump, and I think it's because of that bump going into 3. Everybody's got to take it easy through that bump on the bottom, and it breaks the momentum.
Yeah, whereas if you run that middle, you can basically stay hammered down. And man, we got a big run on the high side coming from Preston Cramner. We got 3 wide for P3. Dan McLaren, no help in the middle. Just as I say that, the 37 ducks up to get behind him, but then he goes low. Brandon Dittmer, he's got a pit. And that's where he hadn't pit yet. We knew we were due for a green flag run, John. Right now, Dan McLaren, he's looking to get up to Gordon Spain. John Hine, though, looking on the outside for P1. He's just got no help. The 25 too far behind. And behind the 25, Terry Landis is looking to make that third line go. So just that middle line, no help.
And that's
right
just
now.
killed it. How Terry being out there just killed the momentum for the second line.
Yeah, now Gary Sigelkow, he's given up going back to the middle. Preston Cramner, he sees the 71 still up there up high, maybe hoping for a partner, but the 37 baited him into maybe thinking he had a partner, drop down below the 88, but now big, good, no, oh, Dan McLaren with a big move. The 37 tried to follow him, maybe wasn't aware there was a car on the outside. 3 wide now for P3, 71 on the outside. Oh, Gary Sigelkow pinched Gordon Spain. They saved it. Oh, no. Yeah, they're still going. No caution. No caution, and that is going to be big for Tim Chapman and Gordon Spain. Can they get in line? Can they catch up here? Roger Craig right now, he's 0.9.
Oh, but Dittmer's coming off the pit road.
And I think Brandon Dittmer coming off pit road was the savior for Roger and them. Preston freaked out, lifted a little bit, and that was able to get those guys back in it. What about Gordon Spain? What's the distance there? They should be okay, but man, that was a close call. We saw it live. We're 3 wide again here. Tim Chapman put it in the middle, able to get by Dan McLaren. Now he's got nobody behind him on the bottom, but ooh, Preston Cramner's going to throw it down in there in front of the 37, leaving the 71 all by himself on the high side. Here comes help, though, but are they going to abandon him? Looks like they're going to stay in line for now, but Gary Sigelkow, he's jumping back out. He's going back down to the bottom. Looks like the 37's thinking about peeking out up there in front of John. Not enough room, though. John, big run on the high side. Ooh, 37 floats up a little bit. John gave him plenty of room there. Ugh, close to call at the line. That would have been a heck of a finish there. John Hahn going into turn 1 looks to have it. But he just loses his helper there going into the corner. Roger Craig just floats up a little too much. And now maybe gets a bump in the middle of the corner from Gordon Spain. They're 3 wide behind John Hahn. Gordon Spain's trying to use side draft on both cars. It's going to work for now, but man, that's going to equal out, and he's going to be just going to fall like a rock. There it goes. You see, just it helps pull it, but once you get that full effect, once you're that car out front, if you don't have somebody behind you, there's just nothing you can do. You're stuck in no man's land here. Out front, it's good to see that 77 back out front here in the Bob Light Memorial. It'd be cool to see Preston park that thing out front.
Roger keeps lifting going into the corner. He just needs to stay right on my bumper and keep pushing. In this lane, you can do that and get away with it.
And, you know, that's maybe one of those things, John, where he thinks it's early, man. I don't want to be aggressive.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know as well.
Oh, wreck.
Caution, yellow flag.
Preston maybe got turned by the 37 there. Couldn't tell what happened, but man,
I don't know what happened either. I saw it in my rearview mirror.
Roger Craig and Brandon Dittmer looked like got into it after the caution. Wow, tough break there. Let's go back and see if we can figure out what happened to Preston here. Yep, 37 just hits him in the right rear. And that was all she wrote for Preston there. Nothing he could do. He was just along for the ride at that point.
Oh, I can breathe again.
Yeah, 6th caution of the night here. Let's get a time update here. Exactly 1 hour right now. We have exactly 1 hour left. So if
I got 37 laps,
yeah.
We get another run like that, I think we'll be all right. But so what do we? What caused that? Just out of curiosity. I hope I didn't do anything.
Nope. Looked like my old man maybe got in Preston Cranmer's right rear and just as soon as he got into him, hooked him right up the track going down the backstretch. So that's tough for Preston.
Like I said, it is, and like I said, managing these runs here are difficult.
And you know, not that I don't feel for anyone else, but I say tough break for Preston, man. That 77 machine, he's doing what he has to, and he was out front. When you're out front, you know, you think you're safe, John. You know, you try to trick yourself into thinking it at least, and man, that's a tough break for him.
Man, this pit road is so long.
Let's see here, dude.
I feel like I'm trying to drive through one big speed trap.
No.
Oh, McLaren overshot his pits.
Now, Jeremy Tate got the lucky dog, okay? But Jeff Kemper did not pit and is the first car behind the pace car. So once we get the 1 to green, he's got to get on his horse, but he'll get waved around the pace car. That caution was what Kemper and Tate needed. He's able to get back on the lead lap here. But now Jeff, he's almost like Dittmer now, John. He needs a quick caution here. He's going to have to pit and get off cycle. So not what he wants.
Yeah, I've had about 12 laps left, and, you know, cautions bring cautions here. So I didn't want to take the chance of getting another run like that, especially after seeing Dittmer basically lose a lap for having the pit here. So I think it's just a safer strategy. Plus, knock on wood, I've been able to drive to the front almost at will. Even when I'm not trying to drive to the front, somehow I'm ending up there. So I don't think it's it doesn't look like I'm gonna. It looks like I'm still gonna be in the front.
Yeah, I believe you'll still cycle right around, or maybe Gordon Spain will be ahead of you, but you're still that front row. But I'm surprised Brandon Dittmer, well, you talked about it, you know, that caught him, made him go a lap down there when he had to pit, and he could have stayed out like Kemper here and got
it looks
the wave
like
around the pace car.
Gordon's pitting.
Oh, wow. Okay. Not sure.
So it looks like it'll be McLaren and I probably on the front row.
Yeah, that's somebody who, if you're ever up front in an asphalt race, you're used to seeing that 88 up there, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. But you know, it's a double-edged sword because Dan's somebody I can work with, and you know, if I'm pushing him, I know what to expect, and I know that I can push him relatively anywhere on the track as long as I do it correctly, and Dan's going to hang on to it, and vice versa. I'm not too worried about him on my bumper. I think he can push pretty well and everything else, so um, I'm not too worried about aggressive pushing here because, like I said, I think you can. I really think you can stay right up, tucked up under somebody, and it doesn't pack air or get them loose or anything.
Yeah, now this is where, if I was in a Discord with my teammates, John, I would remind them, hey, we're under caution, click off your tires in case we have a green flag pit stop and put auto fuel on. Because this caution just made it real interesting here. If we go green flag, we're maybe one stop away from finishing this thing.
I'll make a decision on tires. You know, if that caution comes out, maybe 18 to go, I might still take tires just because it's not taking, but I don't know, 5 or 6 laps to get to the front. So if you really want to go, you know, but if it's inside 10, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get tires.
Well, yeah, well,
But
I mean, I meant
just that little bit of rubber, you know, giving me some maneuverability around the track.
Oh, for sure. I meant strictly here if you guys have to do a green flag pit stop just for
Oh
time's
yes,
sake.
100%.
But here, John's going to try to find that blue Geico restart zone here.
Green flag, green flag.
And he's off. Good jump for John Hine. Not so good a jump there for the 37. Allows the 88 to slot in line, but, you know, I think those 3 up front, they're probably okay with running like this for right now. Can't say the same, though, about Terry Landis. He ducks to the bottom of Jacob Butcher. He's trying to go to the front, and Jacob Butcher right now, he's running the high side. I think he's just wants to hang out in the back, try to ride this thing out a little bit longer, letting everybody go by him. And you see there, 4 wide trying to get by him almost. Man, sometimes getting out of the way like that, you want to do the right thing, but man, it can cause a lot of backing up behind you. And Terry Landis and Preston Cramner, they're trying to go back to the front here. Right as I say that, Preston leaves Terry out to dry. Goes back down to the bottom and falls in line. Takes 4th place over here as the front 4 are in line here at Iracing Super Speedway. And we have 34 laps to go this time by.
Oh yeah, by far Dan McLaren's been the best pusher I've had behind me here, but I'm gonna sit and duck out here because trust me, he's going to be able to pull out, and if he has help, he's going to go right around me.
Yeah, I think having that 37 behind Dan, though, he should remain pretty loyal to you. I think Dan probably feels helpless right now. He wishes he had Brandon Dittmer up here, but man, they're not patient behind you guys. 3 wide for 4th place.
Yeah, and I'm trying to leave Dan just enough room on the bottom so he can see the corner and see where that dip is, to try to help him out on corner entry into 3 there. So, you know, all that kind of stuff, you know, it's amazing the little nuances you can do here to try to keep speed and keep nose to tail around the track.
No, and you know, nothing to rag on some of these other guys, but I've noticed something you and Dan McLaren do, and you talked about it a little bit. I'm seeing some cars, rather than drag that brake a little bit, they're maybe letting off the gas and fanning out to the high side. In particular, talking about my dad right now. And you know, that 3rd car in line, John, when they're fanning out to the right like that, they're only hurting you. They're giving that outside line pull. So it's real important to just maintain that line, drag the brake, and make sure you're not helping anyone else out. Because
and dragging the brake keeps your RPMs up here. You lose 100, 200 RPM, you're losing 4 or 5 mile an hour, and that's what's creating these big runs. And, you know, you've got to pull out a line, because if you don't, you're going to run the guy over. Just that closing rate is so high.
And there, the 37, he got shuffled out of line, and Terry Landis tried to make it 3 wide, but it looked like he went up there almost through a block, thought he'd get some help from Terry, and man, Terry had a scare. He got in the wall a little bit, but he's still going, not losing the draft. But that was a close one out there. in Spain getting some help from the 37, not giving the 71 any room, really sucking that side draft and maybe a little contact.
Yeah,
here.
just open the door into this. Yeah.
And Dan McLaren, he thought disaster was going to happen. He dropped down to the apron going down the front stretch. He got scared. He's got to hope he doesn't lose the draft now. He's got to get on this.
Hey, look who's in second.
Oh, yeah, look who. Or no, P1, Brendan Dittmer's a lap down. The Bastard has taken over the lead here, and Brendan Dittmer raced his way back on the lead lap right now. Doing it the old school way, John. And, you know, I think realistically, that's the guy you want to have out front. Make him waste his gas. He gets the benefit of a caution, and, you know, everybody gets to chill out. So I'd say this is a win-win for everybody right now. But, man, they're 3 wide behind you, John. Preston's in the middle, in between Jeff Kemper and Tim Chapman. Let's see if this works out.
Yeah, well, I think he's getting patient.
Tim maybe clipped the apron there going into corner entry. Man, the 77, he is not going to be a happy camper. Man, he just can't get any luck. Turned around, able to keep it going. Not a lot of damage on that thing. Not sure if I'll have to use a quick repair, if anybody will, but the 37 just tightened up a little bit on entry. Let's go back and see if we can get a better look at this here. Yeah, he just maybe thought he was going to turn in too early, jerk the wheel back, and I mean, he just gets into him. Let's stay on board with Tim here, actually. See if we can see what the wheel looks like. Oh, we didn't click on the right guy. That wasn't Tim. We're going to try this again here. Jacob Butcher. Yeah, just turned in a little early, straightened it up, and got into the back of Preston. Nothing Preston could really do about that. Tough break for him, but long, long way to go. Now this, I guess, John, 27 to go. Do the leaders top off here?
I am. Make sure my tail is a little, I'll use a fast repair even if I don't need one here, just to, I'm a little worried because that 38, I don't know why, I felt like you had to drive in that close to the end and almost wrecked, but we saved it. You know, both Gordon and I both saved it there, but I'm worried that he might have caught me a little bit, give me a little bit of damage there, and every millisecond on a track like this counts.
Yeah, especially if you think this, micro green flag here, if you want to be out front, you're...
Oh, I don't think it's going to go green flag. These guys, we were running earlier, and the level of aggression definitely went up to back to where it was the early laps of the race.
So my time button was working earlier, telling me how much time's left. Now it doesn't want to tell me. Let's see here. I click time, it just says 47 to go, which isn't true. You're going to see the overlay disappear for about 5 seconds, just everybody watching. Because I'm going to try to re-update it.
Boy, well, that gas is still going to be... I think we still have to stop one more time. There's 27 to go, and if we go green, we're going to be about 2 laps short. Now, the question is can you make it if we get a caution? But oh boy,
it's going to be really close here. And no, even after the reset, when I click time here, It says there's... Oh, when it says 46 to go, I wonder if that means 46 minutes. We'll have to see if that changes at all. I'll try to keep an eye on the time here. But on lap 50 right now, so right now 28 to go. Come by this time, should get the 1 to green, I think, maybe. Might just be being optimistic here.
Yep, now we're going to get the 1 to green.
As yes, lights are off. Seeing a lot of guys coming in here for fuel.
Top off.
And you know, you talked about it, but I have a feeling we've got a couple more cautions left up our sleeve here.
Yeah, yeah. And my strategy here is to try to stay up front here, and I mean, I got a teammate in front. I got a teammate in front of me, so I can kind of stick to his bumper. Hopefully, any chaos is behind us. When it does happen, hopefully it maybe splits this 25, 26 laps here, and we can dive in and get gas her up, be ready to go, and either come back and bring a checkered flag or a steering wheel back, one or the other.
Yeah, do you remember off the top of your head how many quick repairs you have left?
2.
All right, so you can still be aggressive here. You definitely,
yeah.
I think you definitely want 1 in your pocket though, right? With 5 to go.
Yeah, but it's still not time. I mean, we're talking 20 miles on a 3-mile. I mean, this is 75 miles to go. There really isn't a need to be aggressive, especially when if you really want to get aggressive, it takes you 4 or 5 laps to get to the back. We could probably still all afford to run, I don't know, probably another 10, 15 laps before guys probably need to start, making moves in that.
And that has been updating. It changed to 44, so I imagine that's minutes to go. So everyone looking at that, 44 minutes to go here as the green flag's getting ready to fly. Gordon Spain in the Geico restart zone. We are off here. John said it. Teammates lined up top. Can they get to the front?
Yeah, I'm going to shove Jeff right out there.
And the 38 maybe
Gordon just didn't have the help.
Nope, he went up there looking for some side draft, but I think Roger's falling in line with you guys. He's going to leave him down on the bottom, and Gordon is just in no man's land right now, but here comes Terry Landis.
Oh, Jeff didn't come down with me. I thought Jeff for sure would come down with me. Oh.
Nope, him in the basket. Oh, Tim Chapman.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Yeah,
wow.
It looked like he made an aggressive move, maybe a block from Roger Craig there, but
nah, wow. That's all I'm gonna say.
We'll have to go back, get a look at this one here. So let's see here. No, we're gonna ride on board with the 37. Big run. Kind of gets the door slammed shut on him and almost went over. Oh, able to keep it actually fairly straight. Good save for the old man there. Let's see what the damage looks like on the side. He's definitely going to want to fix that thing. But could have been worse here.
Well, maybe for him, but all the other guys that got caught up in that was a lot worse.
Oh, for sure. Let's take a look at Roger Craig here. See, big run in the mirror, kind of throws a block. Tim gets loose, comes up, pounds him, and Roger goes down. Oh, Dan McLaren, Bob Light, Brandon Dittmer. That got a lot of guys. Here, Roger's Motors.
You mean Preston? That's
yeah,
Bob.
Yeah. Sorry, man. It's I'm gonna miss him. Seeing that 77 out there.
It's hard. It's hard. He wore that number, and yeah, you see that number, and that's actually a compliment to Bob. You see that number, and that's who you think of. I actually think C2C at the end of this should retire that 77.
Yeah, you know, that's a good idea, and you can say you started it, but I'm gonna run with it here. That's what I'm gonna push for. There's no reason we, other than special events like this or a teammate wanting to honor him or something like that, there's no reason we should ever see that 77 on another car again. That's for sure.
I agree, unless one of his teammates want to run it for a special race with him and all that. So, yeah, I think that number should be retired. But that's my opinion anyway.
So now, Jeff Kemper, it says the last time he pitted was on lap 49. He did not come in with you guys. He stayed out front. Find that a little odd there. Right now you see Preston Cramner and Tim Chapman. They're sitting on pit road here for quite some time. You got to wonder, they've been involved in quite a few accidents. Maybe they're out of quick repairs here.
Wow, once again, I took tires and everything in the pits, and not going to be hurting too much here when we go back green. Now, I mean, we still got plenty of time. The stuff that we just saw, I still don't think we need to get that antsy yet.
Now, while I would agree with you, I don't know if everyone else in here is going to agree with us.
Oh, they certainly do not. After what I just saw. Well, and to be fair, the guys that are, you know, maybe the fourth row on back, they don't know how long it's going to take, and they don't know how we're going to race, race for our position. So, you know, you do start to feel a sense of urgency the further back you get. And I've been very fortunate. You know, I've been able, like I said, I think everybody with the draft here, there's not a guy here that I think couldn't drive to the front at will. It just comes down to decision making behind the wheel. You choose the right runs at the right time and stuff like that. And I don't think anybody would have a problem getting back to the front. So I still don't know how to answer the question you've asked me a couple times about do I want to be up front or not. White flag. I'm definitely leaning towards no, but if you don't have someone behind you that is pretty much committed to you, and you know they're committed to you, you make a move and you might go from being a hero to a zero, in the matter of a corner.
Oh, you're exactly right. It's going to happen fast here. Man, we're down to 22 to go when we get the green flag here. Let's see what we're looking at on time. Seeing maybe 38 minutes, so we should be good here. Should be plenty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get worried if we get 2 or 3 more cautions. But, we'll see here. Some of these guys are losing fast repairs, so I think that's going to... I feel like a green flag run might be coming, though.
Yeah, Preston Cramner and Jeremy Tate didn't make it out of the pits yet after that last one, so they're definitely out of quick repairs. We lost 2 more. What it looks like 8. We got 10 cars running around out there right now, and Roger Craig and Brandon Dittmer are 2 of them, and they're both a lap down here. So 8 cars battling it out right now on the lead lap. Right now up front, Jeffrey Kemper, no real help behind him. Terry Landis with a big push from Gordon Spain as the outside line seems like it's the place to be right now. Big move from Gary Siegelkow. Gonna push it 3 wide, leave Terry Landis out. Terry's gonna slot back in line here. But man, Brandon Dittmer and Gordon Spain up top right now. Brandon Dittmer, the car you're seeing second in line. Remember, he is a lap down, so right now
is he still a lap down?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Wow.
And then Roger Craig, who's looking in the middle, he's a lap down as well. That's for the lucky dog. So Brandon, he wanted to stay up out front, but man, he just got suckled to the back. Tim Chapman, we saw him take a long pit stop. That truck can't exactly be at 100% right now, but man, Terry Landis gets loose coming out of 2, gets down on the apron, and that allows the high side to get a big run. Gonna hang Gary Siegelkow out in the middle. Brandon Dittmer's throwing it up top. 4 wide. Oh,
man, that was silly. Again.
And that the 2 cars that were a lead lap are on the lap down now all of a sudden they're back on the lead lap here. Let's go back and let's try to see if we
I think it's the 83 there. I think you're gonna be able to hook that one on the 88.
Let's see here. Let's see Brandon Dittmer, big run on the backstretch. Gary Siegelkow there. Yeah, just looked like running out of room. Maybe you and Gary Siegelkow got together a little bit, and man, 4 wide, just recipe for disaster there. So that's definitely gonna end a couple days here, I'd think. Let's see if Tim Chapman maybe saved a quick repair. It looks like maybe he did. Changing tires here. Is he going to get in and out? Yeah, so he did have saved 1 quick repair there in the bag, so he's all right. John had said he had 2 here.
Yeah, but I'm going to go a lap down. I can't get in the pits because I've got too much damage.
Oh,
That's
crap.
unbelievable.
Let's see where the leaders are at. Yeah, because Kemper's coming out of 4.
Yeah, if I'd have known that was going to happen, I would have just... Let's
see here, it's going to be close. Did you make it out?
I think so. I guess I did. I hopped out of the car and hopped back in, and they started working on it.
That was cool. Yeah, I guess with maybe parking it so
Well,
close to
I
the
think
pit.
iRacing just made up for us what happened at the Nürburgring.
Oh man, that was traumatic. For little insider information, I wrecked the car like I always do at the Nürburgring, and while I was sitting there getting it repaired, it blew up as soon as I hit the gas after it was repaired. I maybe sat in the car and overheated it. Wasn't sure what I did there, but then a couple hours later, Steven Spies logs on, and all of a sudden the motor wasn't blown anymore, so we were right back in the race. Never seen it happen before.
It was a lot of fun still, though.
Now 2 guys out front. We haven't really talked about being out front that often. Jacob Butcher, I talked about him falling to the back and just surviving, and well, right now it's got him at the front. So 19 laps to go here. He's maybe where you want to be. I don't know. Gonna have to wait and see here. Going to give you a little iRacing insider here. I'm going to click on that screen again. We're going to see elapsed time, so 1:20, and it's set up for an hour 50. So we've got 30 minutes left here.
Yeah, now we can start getting a little nervous. But like I said, guys, I think brains are definitely getting short. I don't want to say brains. People's patience and sense of urgency have gone up, and when that happens, guys tend to try to do things that maybe they shouldn't, and I've been guilty of that too. So I don't think anybody that's raced in one of these things hasn't been guilty of that before.
No, 100%.
That thing is, I don't think we're done yet either.
Yep. Hopefully they don't have more than 2 more. Then I think, man, this thing might get range shortened. We'll call it. Or maybe the people who live close to the track don't like the noise. That might be why we have the time limit too.
It looks like there's only 9 of us left on the track because I'm putting distance on the. Oh, Gordon's coming back out, so maybe 10 of us on the track.
Yeah, Gordon's coming back out. You gotta wonder, is he gonna make it to you guys though? He's just pulling out of pit road.
Well, we're just on the middle of the backstretch. I mean, we're almost 2 miles from the start-finish line. He should have plenty of time.
Fair enough. He's gonna be a lap down too, so he's one of the few people here wanting another caution so he can get back on the lead lap.
Which, if he's smart, I don't think he'll have anybody around him battling for that. It'd be smart for him just to hang back, so if any other trouble, he can scoot around it. But if he gets to where he tries to drive up through here to get it back the old-fashioned way, he gets caught into something, that would be, that'd make his day worse.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You gain nothing from driving like Dittmer and Craig did earlier. You don't want to be aggressive here. You're the only.
Yeah, but those guys were running for position there. That Rocky Dog. That's why they were being that aggressive.
That's what I'm saying. He's in a totally different class right now. He's all by himself that lead lap, so he just needs to run his own race at the back and make sure he gets no incident points here if we get another caution. But green flag is out. Jeff Kemper, great restart from the guy in 3rd place. Probably the best one we've seen, hanging all over the leader. And we're seeing Dan McLaren and Brandon Dittmer maybe fall back to the back here. They don't think the reckon's done either.
No, they don't. I don't either, but I got one faster pair left, so. And Gordon Spain, I guess, is going to try to just drive his way back up to the front, so.
Yeah,
But if I'm him, I'd be awful careful, though.
Yeah, you don't really need to push it this early. You know as well as I do, 17 laps, long time here. You got 12 to 15 laps
miles
to think about what you want to do here. No rush, but man, the battery.
Yeah, now Gordon's putting me 3 wide.
Yeah, you see it 3 wide there. John's just trying to look to maybe fall in line. Tim's not going to give him any room. He's going to come up, make it 3 wide as well here. Terry Landis thinks better of it, backs out. And now can the high side start to mount a charge? We have the 71 pushing the Bass man, Roger Craig.
Terry just to get in line here, and he's going to stall us.
Yeah, maybe thinking Kasich doesn't want to get into you with that big run, but like we talked about earlier, that's where you just want to
drag the
brake a little bit and stay in line, because you saw they had a big run and it absolutely killed it. And right here, getting another big run. If Terry can get up here and give them a little help. It just looks like he's maybe backing out a little too early, but he's sucking up a little closer. Right now, everybody should be good to go on fuel, I'd imagine. Jacob Butcher, pit lap 53, so that would put him in. We've had a couple cautions. He may be close, but everybody else in the field, lap 58 or later, so the only man to watch for fuel is that guy out front right now. Right now, too, being out front, he's going to burn more gas, and if you're Jeff Kemper, that's what you want. You just make that guy burn it up, and hopefully he runs out here before the end of the race. We're seeing the high side come back again here. So Rogers getting some help from the 71. Finally had 4 cars in a line, but man, the 37 a little loose on entry. Pushes up Terry Landis, able to maintain there. Jeff Kemper kind of hung out in the middle of nowhere now as he's in the middle 3 wide going down the backstretch. He backs out, lets his teammate down in line here, and now Terry Landis is hung out all by himself up front. Tim Chapman with another scary entry going in there, but able to hold on to it. Here's we're coming out of 4. Should have 13 to go this time by, and we have a new leader up front, the Bassman, Roger Craig. Oh, he chops off Jacob
The yellow flag is
Butcher,
out.
and he loses it. Oh, tough break. He maybe wasn't aware there was a car below him, but we saw it happen. Middle 3 wide.
Did I cause that?
Oh, no. Nope. Just 3 wide racing at the end.
I just saw the green contact come up. I don't know if that was from the push from Kemper or I came down into somebody.
Let's see here. Let's watch this. Roger Craig right now.
Yeah, I intended to follow Roger. Then when Jeff gave me that bump, he was going to bump me right into Roger, and I can drag the brake all I can, but yeah, I had no choice but to jump out the outside there.
Yeah, he just, whenever he saw you jump to the outside, he went low, and I mean, Jacob Butcher barely had a fender under him, but that took out Roger, Gordon, Terry Landis. That's it's going to be a tough one here. And we saw Gordon Spain. We talked about it there earlier, John. Getting involved in a caution or in a wreck there could only hurt him, and that's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't blame him for trying to get out in front and make up that lap the old-fashioned way, but boy, that's a heck of a risk. And I don't know if there's a right strategy in that play or a wrong one. It's just, I guess, based on how you feel and how fast you feel your truck, your truck is.
Nope, you're exactly right. That's what it comes down to. You just got to try to read the room. And, I mean, he felt like he needed to get up there and get it back. But as you saw, maybe going to punish him here. Right now, I got 2 Gambler teammates up front here. That's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, Jeff is a lot better than I am at these super speedway things too. So if he, he's probably. I'm looking how we're going to line up here, and he's going to have Tim Chapman, who I know they're quasi teammates for these races. Looks like Jeff's got a pit though. Oh nope, he's doing the fake. But he's going to have Tim behind him there. So if those 2 guys can work together and get on each other's bumper, I think they'll be able to carry momentum down around turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, my dad will give me a hard time about it, but not ripping on him. But man, he's just got to smooth up his corner entry a little bit. I don't, right now with the way he's been going into some of these corners, I don't know if he's the pusher you want to have. So he's got to smooth it up a little bit here if he wants Jeff to get by you. That's for sure. Because Jacob Butcher, man, that guy I said he cool, calm, and collected early on. He's going to be right behind you, and I imagine he's got a couple quick repairs left.
Preston Kramer just got the lucky dog, and that Bob Light machine. That number 77 just went around the pace car.
Yeah, it's a shame he's going to be 9 laps down or 8 laps down still. But, man, it's good to see that 77 back on the track. And, man, Preston ran really well tonight. It's when he goes back and watches this, not many things were his fault, just a product of super speedway racing and how quick everything happens.
Well, give you an idea of how crazy this has been, and I've burned through about 4 fast repairs, I think, and I've got 22 incident points. That's we're getting into enduro kind of numbers for incidents.
Yeah, we wonder. You may have to let me know at the end of this thing who got the most incident points.
Jeff Kemper is to my outside here. He really should be on this yellow line. Save as much fuel as you can, because if we get a green light checker, that extra fuel could be very valuable. At least if I'm back there in the back, I'm not running the high line. I'm staying on that yellow line.
Yeah,
I might even be clutching it.
If you guys are worried about it, I'm definitely worried about that car behind you then, because like I said,
Well,
pit lap 53, so he's gonna
no,
be
I
pushing
got
it.
13 laps of fuel left, which should put me good and maybe good for one green white checker, but I don't even know how many, if we have any set for this race. But if we do, that's gonna make me sweat if we get into a green white checkered situation.
Yeah, with 10 to go, you got to think right now. Like you said, you're good right now with a green white checkered, man. You're gonna be close, but Jacob Butcher pitting 5 laps before you guys. Now I know some of them are caution laps, but man, he's really got to be scared.
Yeah, I wish right now iRacing would let us do hands gestures with our hands, so I could put my hand up where Butcher could see it, and I could lower it as soon as I'm going, so he could just be right on my bumper. Because who I can tell you, the guy who's going to have the lead coming out of 2 is going to be the guy who gets the best push through 1 and 2, down the front stretch and through 1 and 2. It's going to do nothing with speed or the lane you're in. It's the guy behind you. So both Jeff and I are at the mercy right now of Jacob and Tim. And if somebody jumps out and makes it 3 wide, all bets are off. It's going to get crazy into 1.
Yeah, and Dan McLaren, he's the 3rd car back. He's hungry on the high side. And Gary Siegelkow, we've seen him make some pretty aggressive moves here today. So,
well, and Dittmer's always aggressive.
Yep.
No matter the situation.
Yeah, row 3 and row 4 with Dittmer in Spain. You got to keep an eye out for those guys. Patience is probably out the door here as the 71's going to enter the Geico restart zone. And we're off here. Good jump for him. That's going to allow, if Jeff Kemper wants to slide in line, both teammates could fall in line on the bottom if they wanted to, but they're going to stay up high.
He's got a good push from 37 there. I have no one behind me, and that's going to cost me.
Yeah, and Dan McLaren, he's taking advantage of that too, but 37's going to try to get down and give you some pull here, try to equal that out, get the Gambler boys running 1, 2, 3, but Dan McLaren, here he comes. He's going to get a hearty helping of the 25.
Yeah, I had to lift.
3 wide.
I had to lift not to hit Chapman, so that's going to
Oh, looked like the 37 maybe came down through a block. Wasn't sure the 71 was there, and that's gonna cause one there.
I was there.
Let's go back here, see if we can get a little better view of that.
Yeah, when you got someone up beside you, you can't block. That never ends well.
Try to get the aerial cam here. Yeah, you see it. I mean, he's just there. Maybe couldn't get back up off of him and never regains. That takes out a lot of cars here. Preston Cramner got involved again. Oh, man, he can't catch a break. Gordon Spain involved. Let's see if we can get you an in-car cam here. Let's go with the chase here. This will be the good view. See here at 37, he just
hooked right, hooked left.
This is I want to lap earlier, actually. No, there it is. He just came off the bottom, hit him, just came back down again there. Tough break. But John, I think you said you had one quick repair left.
I do, and that's it for me.
So it looks like the 30.
I am going to have to drop to the end because I came right in. There's no way I was going to make it around, so I got to enter in a closed pit and speeding under the thing, so...
Here, hopefully that's gonna be the last caution here. Wait, I think we'll get the green here.
Well, good news.
5 to go.
I'm now good if we have a couple of green white checkers. So if I keep the fenders on it, and we do get a green-white checker situation, I'm golden.
Yeah, that'll definitely set you guys up. And let's see here. Did Butcher, he stayed out, so he feels like he can make it. Oh my God. John, if you could see my head right now, I look like I just ran the Boston Marathon. It is getting too hot in Pennsylvania. I cannot take this anymore.
Well, at least you're not out in Arizona and that where it's, I don't know, 1,000 degrees right now with that heat dome over the Southwest. In fact, I texted Steven today, asked him if he's home yet because he's in Italy, and he's like, nope. And I was like, just stay put. It's 1,000 degrees in Arizona today. No, I mean, it's like 110, 115 already there. So it's going to be a crazy hot summer for those folks down there, which doesn't help an area that's running out of water.
Oh man, I don't know how I could. I'd have a heart attack in that.
Well, they'll tell you it's a dry heat, and so is an oven. But I don't stick my head in the oven.
You're damn right. You're damn right. That's wild. Man, they should have areas that get that hot roped off. Shouldn't be open to the public, but
they'll see 120s and whatnot, I'm sure, later on the summer. I mean, we hit 120, I think, a couple days last summer.
I realized Roger Craig was involved in that last one too. He must be out of quick repairs. That's gonna put him a lap down. So tough break for Rogers. He was running up towards the top 5 pretty much all day.
Yeah, Roger and I have worked well together. I'm disappointed that I'm not going to have a chance to either push or be pushed by him up here. I've worked with him more than anybody today, actually.
Brought up the iRacing cheat page there, John. We're 13 minutes and 30 seconds. So everybody better behave.
Yeah, 5 laps. Well, I'll tell you, you got Sigel Cow and you got Dittmer on the front row, and and nothing against not calling anybody out, but those are 2 fairly aggressive guys. So anybody behind that front row, and that includes everybody pretty much, and I think we better buckle up here.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna want to pull them belts down here tight one more time as we're coming out of turn 4. We're going to get the green flag here with 5 to go. We'll have to see if we're going to use any green-white checkered attempts or if we're going to roll it out here green. But here comes Gary Siegelcow. Can fire any time in that Geico restart zone. And there he goes. Late start. Jeff Kemper actually had to check up being in P2.
I have a hold for 26 seconds because I came into those closed pits.
Oh, tough break. Is there 4 wide in front of you, John? Man, Jeff Kemper, he's gonna be
Roger. I got somehow my black flag just got cleared. Let's give Kemper a run here.
Yeah, there we go. I was gonna say he was gonna be sad if you got that black flag. He'd have been hung out, but now he's got a chance and some help. But Brandon Dittmer, we saw him race his way back onto the lead lap. He is out front with 5 to go.
Got a caution?
Caution's out. What happened here? Roger Craig, I'm seeing. I got info spun out. Let's see here.
Oh, man, I hope he didn't get spun out clearing my black, because he cleared a black there, and I mean, and it was I came down pit road with a lot of damage. I mean, I wasn't trying to get an advantage on anybody. I just wasn't going to make it back around the track.
Nah, he had got damage from that previous wreck, and I think he just tried to pull out of the pits to stay 1 lap down, and it looked like he was driving around with a bent steering wheel, a jacked up steering wheel, and he clipped the apron a little bit coming out of the corner, and that was all she wrote. But Man, I'll tell you what, we're going to be really, really close on time. If we have one more caution, it might end it short here. So everybody's
Well, if
gotta
we
be
don't have
ready.
green white checkers, we might maybe have a green checkered situation here. So I mean, I don't know if it tells you in the info box if there is green white checkers, does it?
It should. Let's go back and give everybody a iRacing insider here.
It's not going to tell me from in the car, but
green white checkered attempts. Does it say track information? I'm not seeing it.
then it's going to be real close that this thing gets going green again. Yeah, in fact, if we don't get the 2 to go here and there's not a green white checker, this race is over. Oh, we got the 2 to green. Holy cow, is this going to be oh boy.
Yeah, fireworks are gonna get lit, and I have a good feeling maybe nobody in the top 3 is gonna win this race. Here, it's gonna come down to definitely tempers on that last lap, and I mean we've seen guys throw blocks with 20 to go and 50 to go, so I imagine it's gonna carry over here.
Not gonna lie, I don't know whether to pull in the pits to watch this because I think this is gonna be good, or stay out here and might get lucky that literally everybody in front of me wrecks.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. You and Jeff Kemper may be exactly where you want to be here, because if guys start getting together coming through turns 1 and 2 in the backstretch, you guys, if you're linked up, you've got half a lap to get a run on cars that have been all squirrely. And man, I know he's got his teammate beside him, but I do not want to be out front right now. If I'm Brandon Dittmer, you're sitting duck.
Well, if I'm on the outside behind McLaren and I got somebody that I know will push me, I take this thing 3 wide going in the corner. As long as that guy stays on your bumper, you'll come out at 2 with the lead. And we've seen how hard it is over in 3 and 4 for the bottom to stay linked with that bump and everything over there. So, I mean, that might be the play is that third line here.
Well, your job
again, yeah, I was going to say, but again, the leaders right now, they're at the mercy of the guys behind them.
And you're at the mercy.
Oh, we do have a green white. We got 3 green white checkers.
Okay.
Which we don't have time for all 3.
You've got to put this thing on the podium so we can shorten this interview process. That's your goal tonight here.
You know what? If I take this green and come back for the white and still have the car in one piece, I'm going to be amazed.
Yeah, I got a feeling we may see a scrapyard here on this last lap, but hopefully we can get to that white flag here, as we're getting pretty close on the time length for the room. So let's see here. Yeah, 8 minutes to go. Right now, John, if you're Brandon Dittmer, are you begging McLaren to let you up in front of him and have your teammate push you, or does Dan try to jump low? What do they try here?
That's a good question. You know, if you can work some deal, but the key to that's going to be is not breaking momentum, because if you break momentum, you're going to get swallowed up, and all that's going to be for naught. I mean, that last restart, the last restart I was leading, I forgot who it was that wasn't on my bumper, and I just got swallowed by the guys that were pushing. I mean, I was just defenseless.
Here we go. Green should be coming out here, hopefully for the final time. Brandon Dittmer gets
Wow.
a good jump.
Someone jumped on it and braked.
Yeah, it looked like the 25 maybe sped it up a little early up high and made the rest of the band join in, and then you guys all had to check up. But, man, Dan McLaren, he went right to the front, and Gary Siegelkow, he doesn't care about his teammate. He leaves him in the middle to dry. He's going to the high side. Now Soupy, he's weaving all around, trying to give everybody pull here. They're 4 wide right behind him. This is not going to work.
Caution, yellow flag.
They're still wrecking here. Oh, man. Well, that could have maybe been the race there. We'll have to see if it gets time shortened or not. But, man, these guys just, they don't want to finish it out here.
You knew that was going to come. Man, I jumped all the way to the top because I just thought that was going to be safer. And then next thing I know, I see them come up from the bottom.
Yeah, you see the 25 just slowly float down into the 83. And, well, that's going to probably be... Let's see if Brandon was able to keep rolling that thing. He was, but I don't know if he has any quick repairs left or not. Were you all out of quick repairs, John?
I am, and I'm down on basically a cylinder too. Before this goes back green, I'm just making a lap. But 5 minutes on the clock.
Yep, I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news and bring that up earlier, but at the pace we were at, I knew it was maybe important to check that race time. And, man, I got a feeling if they don't maybe shorten this and go green here, we may not go back at all.
Well, for selfish reasons, I'm hoping that it doesn't. But I think 4 minutes. Let's see what happens when we go by here. They're waving a white. Oh, that's a yellow flag. 2 to green.
It's going to be really close.
Nope, 1 to green.
Oh, 1 to green? Okay.
Yeah, they shortened it. They took your advice. And only thing I'm going to be able to do is maybe push. Oh, 1 to green. We need to be getting double file.
Yep, and this may be the last shot we have here, so...
Zach, how much damage do I got on the front here?
Let's take a look at this thing. Take a look at the... It's definitely crinkled. You're not going to be a fool. The left front is what's beat up. But you may be able to still help push.
I'm doubtful even that. I don't think I'll get the speed out of it.
And Brandon Dittmer, are you telling me that he had a quick repair left?
Possible.
After all the bad luck that he's had? That thing looks clean. Just did a barrel roll.
Is that whose undercarriage I saw?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and that's one
I drove under somebody.
Yeah, that's one where that Venom Discord chat might have been a little quiet there as Gary Siegelkow turned him going down the backstretch. So they might not be talking much down there, but I'll tell you what. Probably the last time we have a green-white checkered attempt here due to time is Dan McLaren. You don't want to get too good of a restart here. You'll give everybody a big run behind you. And Gordon Spain.
Oh, yeah, I've got nothing.
Gordon Spain.
I won't even have a draft. Look at Kemper.
Yeah, Kemper is trying to go to the high side, but it doesn't look like he's going to have any help just yet. As Jacob Butcher is a ways back there. Dan McLaren.
Siegelkow going 3 wide again.
Yes, he is. And guys, this could be it. So
That's not
behave.
gonna work.
4 wide. This ain't gonna work. This is
Ditmer's
not
below
gonna
the
work.
yellow line.
Oh God, this is gonna be it.
There they go.
The yellow flag is out.
Well, we saw it. We knew it was going to happen, and Jacob Butcher has a crap ton of damage, so Terry Landis is going to survive that accident there and inherit third. Oh, man, wild here. Let's go back.
So what started that one?
We're going to go back and 100% find out here, but man, going down the backstretch, it could have been a number of things here. Let's see if we can get the blimp or the chopper camera here. Sorry. So right now, Brandon Dittmer, he's right on that yellow line. Entering turn 4. I'll watch it slow. He kind of gets chopped off a little bit by, who was that? Was that Terry Landis? And Terry maybe freaked out, floated back up in the middle of the corner, and I mean, 4 wide. It was gonna happen. Going in there like that. As you see, though, does a loop, gathers it back up after doing the loop. And they're able to get by John Hine. Right now, I'm seeing Gordon Spain on pit road.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of us coming down there.
I thought people might play the time game and stay out, but...
Well, he shortened it now, and I got... Yeah, all of a sudden now I got... pit road violations because it closed the pits when we shortened it. It's kind of a bummer, but I don't think I have anything. I think I'm done anyway. Oh yeah, 8 minutes of required repair. I'm done.
And right now, Brandon Dittmer somehow still had another quick repair. Oh my God! After the night this guy had, he must have just been repairing damage in those small ones.
Well, he remember, he fell a lap down not because of a wreck, but because of pit strategy there.
Oh yeah, that's true. That kind of probably tainted my memory of him a little bit. But right now, arguably, I mean, nothing against you, Gordon, but man, you got a lot of damage. There are 4 cars that look like have a chance to win this race here. And you got 2 teammates in the top 4. So if you're Terry Landis, you're really hoping somehow him and Jacob Butcher can try to work together and commit to each other, because that 83 and 88, they'll commit to each other at least until that finish line, I'd imagine.
Dang, it's not going to just pull out of the pits.
And for what is probably, hopefully, the final restart this time is
Green flag, green
Dan
flag.
McLaren looks to get a good jump. Terry Landis right beside him, but man, just no help up top right now for Terry. He's hung out, and I'm seeing the white flag.
Yep.
Yeah, we ran out of time here. Maybe even I see a checkered flag up top, but a white
I see
under
green.
it. So yeah, this is the white flag here. And I'm surprised Brandon Dittmer right now pushing Terry Landis. Not
Watch
worried
that
about the
38.
team game.
Watch that 38.
Oh, Terry Landis tried to get that bumper wide.
Wow, and he got... Wow, that car caught some air, and they're going to wreck into 3.
Yeah, Dan McLaren's got to get the elbows out, and that helps his teammate on the bottom in the 83. Can he give him a shove out of the corner? Jacob Butcher with a big run here. Look at that 38! Look at the 38 Oh, Jacob Butcher at the line or Gordon Spain? Who was it?
I have no idea.
SDK
It
is
says
telling
McLaren.
me.
Well, that's weird. It's putting something's. How did Landis and Butcher all end up lap down? That's not right. That's not right. They're not laps down.
No, yeah, we just I'm looking at the iRacing thing here. Yeah, that is that's crazy. That's not how that finished.
McLaren did not win that.
No, we're gonna freeze frame it here, NASCAR style. Okay, so you're gonna get a little behind the scenes here. I got to control F12 is what it's called. I got to spin the camera for us. We're gonna see which one beat it to the line. We're gonna call the winner here because we know it wasn't Dan McLaren.
It was Butcher, Spain, McLaren.
Man.
Yeah, but those guys were not laps. Wow, that is a snafu.
For anybody watching this stream here, I am going frame by frame. This is as slow as you can go, okay? Right now, they are both on the start-finish line, as you see. About equal. I click back frame. They're both off the finish line. This is literally, John.
I think McLaren. I think Butcher got there before. Very, very. I mean, millis. It's almost like that finish in NASCAR the other day. But I think Butcher, McLaren, and then Butcher, Spain, and then McLaren. But McLaren finished third. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, maybe iRacing was right. I could have swore they had all those guys on the same lap.
I'll tell you what, actually, something I noticed, the giveaway here, Gordon Spain won this race because looking at this line here, Gordon is ahead of the finish line. He is on that white marker in the middle, which would line up with
But who got to it first? Who got it first?
It would have to be him because Butcher carried the momentum from the outside.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, McLaren came across that line third.
Finish. I see you up in here, Dittmer. What happened? How did you get third? Why did iRacing knock those guys a lap down? Have you guys talked about this at all?
Yes. We unfortunately ran out of time before we came back to that last green flag. So it ended the race technically under caution. So the order that we were in coming to that green flag was the finishing order.
Not. All right, so this is a fun.
I wish this was the actual finish.
This is a fun official race, so like I'm gonna make the final ruling here. That last lap was awesome. I'm making the last lap stand. What do you say, Roger?
The race actually ended before the finish line. That's why the order is what it is. Is the race was over when Preston said I saw the black flag come out or the checkered flag come out. That was when the race was over, and that was about with a half lap left.
Well, since you're the head of C2C, do we go with the start finish line, or do we go with what iRacing says? Because it's two very, very different stories.
Well, I'm gonna go with iRacing. Like we ran out of time, and those are the guys that are at the podium, so that's the podium shot. So, and maybe what we need to do is, Bob Light wouldn't be very proud with a 7-14 cautions. Maybe we need to do a rematch or something somewhere.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I don't know, Roger, if you heard me, but I would like to put it under consideration anyway to retire that 77 from.
Well, I've been sending messages to Zach, but he hasn't been reading them. But what's happening is Preston has asked to race that number for the summer season, and then that number will be retired by the league.
Outstanding.
Cool deal. That's he definitely deserves that. That'll be nice to see. But well, Brandon, now that we actually figured out what was going on here, man.
Yeah, sorry, Brandon. And
You're all right.
and you got 3 other guys in the waiting room, so I'll let you talk to Brandon, and I'm gonna get out of here, boys. Thanks for the job you did.
Yep, no problem. Well, Brandon, man, you had to think there for a while. You had a good chance at winning. You got on the wrong pitch strategy there early, but we saw it. Crap ton of cautions got you back, and this is just for fun, so I don't mind asking you a tricky question. Were you mad at Gary in that Discord at all there for a little bit?
Oh, no. It's just all part of this race and thing. We were basically door to door going down that backstretch, and I noticed Gary was coming down a little bit. I tried to stay down as much as I could, but I didn't want to run into the guys on the inside. But it is what it is. I'm just out here having fun.
Well, considering about 4 or 5 laps ago you were on your lid, man, to bring it home P3, not too bad, dude. And I'm sure we all wanted to put on a better show here for the Bob Light Memorial, but is what it is, kind of a product of the track, man. But who you want to thank on the 3rd place?
I got 4th, but
on the 4th place.
You guys,
Iracing's throwing me off, dude. I had to bring up the cheat grid. my SDK says Gordon won. Jacob finished 2nd. It's all wrong. So I'm trying to figure it out.
No, you guys for the broadcast, Roger from Coast to Coast, and Venom, the guys for letting me hang out with them and race with them today. And of course, Bob Light and all his family. Thinking about them. It's gonna be sad not having him around, beating my butt up in GT3s anymore. He's gonna be that ghost car that I'm always chasing that I'm never gonna freaking catch. It sucks not having him around anymore.
Yeah, definitely does, man. But congratulations, Brandon, and a good run tonight.
Thank you.
All right, John, we're going to pull up here P3. You want to get a word with Jacob Butcher here?
You take him, man. This is your deal.
Jacob, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. I didn't have you up on the broadcast a whole bunch tonight, but there were times it just seemed like you were playing it smart tonight. If you ever found yourself up towards the front, you were letting guys cycle up to the front and wreck in front of you. You just made sure you were there at the end, and hey, it worked.
Yeah, I mean, after a few issues at the beginning of the race, I knew I had to stay back a little bit if I was going to make it, first of all, to the end or have even a chance to be top 3. So that was just a long play.
Were you aware that the race was called earlier when you were racing back to the line? Did you think that was for the win?
We didn't think it was for the win, but just the chance that it could possibly be the win, I was going for it.
Well, man, you made it really exciting because you guys tricked me into thinking it was for the win. So I appreciate that. But, man, you hung on, able to bring home the final spot of the podium. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to keep this quick and keep it all on Bob. I mean, he was, our fantastic teammate, and just being able to score a podium for his memorial race, makes me a little emotional, but, he's going to hopefully smiling.
Yeah, let's be honest, let's call a spade a spade. He wouldn't have liked the cautions tonight, man, but I'll tell you what, he would have been just like me. We didn't know that race was over. He would have been rooting you on there. Hell of a race there to what I'm calling the real finish. So I'm giving you 2nd place in my book. Good job, Jacob.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it, man. I'm going to bring up Terry here, but congratulations, my man. All right, Terry Landis. Well,
hey,
did you know you had 2nd locked up there going down the backstretch, or whenever you spun out, did you think, damn, I lost the podium here?
Oh, yeah, I thought I finished 6th or 7th in the air.
Yeah, I kept the race on the front, but you can hear John in the broadcast. He talked about you getting airtime. I might actually, while I'm interviewing you here, I might have to go find that.
Yeah, and then Roger says, hey, you're going to be able to make it. And I said, yeah, here I come. It flipped. I was in the air, and then it landed on all 4s, and I just stuck it in gear and kept going.
Yeah, you did. Here we got it on. That was a wild ride. You getting half off, but man, you had to make that rear bumper wide going down the backstretch, right? You had to protect for what you thought was the lead.
Yeah, exactly. Or podium finish, right?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
at that point, we're out here racing for Bob. You had to go for it, but
Yeah.
congratulations, Terry, man, bringing home P2. Hell of a job tonight after a lot of ups and downs for everybody. You're able to be there at the right time, man. So congratulations. Who you want to thank?
Oh, definitely. This goes out to Bob. He was a great guy and and a great racer. And I always tried to image and mirror him when I got behind him because he was the best. You want to do what he's doing. But yeah, this race is for him and the guys out the Aspire Racing team. Them guys, Jacob, Preston, and Jeremy. They're all a bunch of cool guys to hang out with. That's
Well,
about it.
congratulations, Terry. Love having you up here, man. And hopefully I get to talk to you more here in the future, my man.
All right, Zach. It was fun. Thank you.
Congrats. We're going to pull up. You know what? Dan McLaren wins all the time.
Yeah, let's bring Dan up and then Preston then.
Yeah, we're going to bring Preston up after, but dang
You
it,
can bring
Dan,
them up too at the same time if you want.
Is there an asphalt race you don't win anymore?
Hey, that was super speedways. They're hard to win, man. It's luck. Right time, little luck, and just don't get caught up in the wrong moves and the wrong times. But yeah, that was. I wish we could have raced it out and not have the time limit, which kind of sucks. Because I went back and watched it. I think Gordon would have won had we ran that out. It would have went Gordon, Butcher, and then me.
Yeah.
But,
I slowed it down on the broadcast and went frame by frame, and I think you're exactly right. I think Gordon barely beat him to the line, and man, that would have looked good. But did you honestly, when you got that white flag there, or when you restarted, did you know the race was over? Did you kind of think you had it in the bag, or were you trying to race to the line?
Oh, you always race to the line. It's never over until you get that checkered, man. It's whether it's time. Well, I was watching the time anyway, and I don't know how. Even if you shorten the lap, if you get the white flag, if it does extend it, or once you cross the finish line after the time runs out, is that the final results, which ended up being so. But yeah, no, like that. The last two restarts, like it's you kind of want them to happen, but you don't because when you're leading, you're like, oh, okay, green, white, checker. If it one more, then you got it. But it's always better just racing it to the checkered flag. But like this track there's no right or wrong line, man. You can run wherever you want. The runs are crazy. Few too many cautions. But it is what it is. Glad guys came out for the cause, and first and foremost, just all the sincere condolences to the Light family and friends and relatives and everyone that was involved in Bob Light's life. Definitely gonna miss racing on here because every time I joined a session and saw his name pop up, I'm like, "Eey."
Yeah, you knew you were
Here
going
we
to
go.
finish second.
And it's like, yeah, well, but that's when you race against fast guys like that, it makes you want to race better, and you want to get faster yourself, and you want to see what they're doing and what you're not doing, and it's always a blast to race guys like that, and for sure gonna miss him.
Yeah, he was a class act, and I've said it many times. He was one of those guys that, if he was faster than you, no secrets. If you had any questions for him, man, he'd help you out. And we're really gonna miss that knowledge being passed around. And the league's definitely in a little bit of a darker place, but man, doing stuff like this help us all get out of it. That's for sure. But congratulations, Dan! Big win tonight, man. We're proud of you here.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate it, and thanks for everybody for watching and you guys putting on this broadcast, and for everybody coming out.
Well, that's going to do it for you, Dan. I'm going to kick you out of here. We're going to bring up Preston here. We're going to talk to him for a little bit. But once again, man, congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, Preston, man, no easy way to say this. definitely not the night you were hoping for. And let's just get out of the way, man. Not really your fault. Yeah, you're sometimes you're mad at a Chapman, but it's it's not gonna be me tonight.
Stop! Don't get me in trouble. Don't get me in trouble. Everything's fine. We had a great time. We're out here for a good reason. And you know what? I was pretty peeved at one point, but I dragged that thing over the finish line.
Probably at me that first shot, like on what was it, lap 2 or 3? You know?
I couldn't believe. You're right. You're right, but there were plenty more behind it.
Yeah,
it was a mess.
I lifted and that car kept going. I was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna nail him!" And pow.
Yeah, it was early laps. That stuff happens. It was no big deal. But I dragged it across the finish line. My right front wasn't connected for the last 10 or 15 laps, and it was shaking terrible. And so I was just laughing towards the end. So I was glad to bring it over the finish line, even though we didn't quite get to the 77th lap there. It was a good time with everybody.
now that you say that, I hate to laugh, but man, I'm riding on your onboard camera. That is a heck of a drive. That right front tire just up and down, up and down. Oh man!
I went in before the race started and adjusted my force feedback because I wanted to make sure I would keep the car steady. So I cranked it up a little bit, and that was not a good decision towards the end of the race.
Wow. Well, Preston, man, I tell you, we had fun, a good cause, but I'd say out of the league, probably nobody knows Bob as well as you did. He was a member of your team, and I think it'd be really a fitting way to end the night. We've all paid tributes to him. You had his paint scheme on. Roger told me early up here that we're going to retire his number after you run it over the summer, which I think is a fitting tribute. But can you give us a good Bob Light story to kind of wrap this thing together?
I don't know if I really have any real Bob Light stories. That was kind of his thing. Like he showed up and he raced with us and he had a good time. He'd get wrecked sometimes and he'd get frustrated, but he always kept a level head. And frankly, that was probably one of the biggest things I kind of learned from him because I watched him whip my ass every week. And then when things didn't go his way, it wasn't the end of the world. And it kind of really put things in perspective a little bit to just, focus on getting to the end of the race and protecting your race. That was something we talked about a lot. And nothing comes to mind. I'm not good at recalling that stuff all the time, but Bob was just kind of a quiet, humble guy. The funny thing that comes to mind was the RC racing. Kevin had mentioned it to him at one point, and Bob said something back. It wasn't, it was pretty innocent, and I didn't think much of it. Just figured, Bob's into RC racing, and we talked about it a few times. Never mentioned that he had literally won multiple world championships and all this stuff. He just was a humble guy like that, and he was out to, enjoy time with people he enjoyed being with. And I'm privileged to say that was time I got to spend with him, and I know he felt the same way about a lot of guys in the league too. So he's a good man.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, it's cool that we're able to do this. And I hope some of his family might be watching or something. I hope, I know it was probably more cautions than Bob would have approved maybe, but it was, we were all having fun in his name there. And then we're going to look forward to seeing that 77. Are you going to run the 77 across the divisions here, or are you just going to pull that out for the asphalt stuff?
No, I'm planning to run it and everything, but I got to get wraps done. So I've been working on that. We'll see where we're at. My teammates are expecting stuff too, so we'll be out as we can and should be in the 77 every time.
Awesome. Well, I tell you, it'll be nice to see that 77. It'll tug at our heartstrings every time we see it and compete with that car. And Preston, my condolences to you, your team, obviously to Bob, his family and friends and everything else. And man, no better way to honor him than you having that car out there. So we look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I hope to do it justice. And you said it yourself. If any of his family's watching, I saw a comment at one point from another broadcast, and I didn't figure out a way to respond to it directly. If anybody's watching, please reach out to me. I had contacted a couple of people on Facebook and didn't hear anything back. So just like to get in touch with you and just make contact and get to know you, I guess. So, but I appreciate everybody watching, and it was a good tribute to Bob.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Preston, and then we'll talk at you down the line.
Yes, sir.
Well, Zach, it was a eventful evening, huh?
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to, when Preston said that, it made me think because I had actually reached out to, I believe I want to give her credit. I was trying to look through my messages. Bob's daughter, Terry Bosniak, as I guess is how it is, or how it's pronounced. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, but you know, I hate to be one of those people who just like message, you know, but man, well, as soon as I found out, I had to message her, just let her know that how much Bob meant to us and just what he would do for guys like me who, you know, want to be fast and ask guys for help. And Bob was just, man, he was just so inviting. And dude, it sucks so bad. I'm gonna miss learning how to get those 4 or 5 extra tenths at Daytona from following him in GT3 practice and stuff like that. He's just made me such a better driver. And you know, Bob, hopefully you're listening, man. We're really gonna miss you. And sorry about this caution fest, but man, we're gonna do it again right here eventually. I promise you. But for everyone here watching on Coast to Coast Racing, I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV. Thank you to my partner John Hine for sitting in with me tonight. Made tonight go by a lot faster, but that's going to do it for you here. We're going to roll the credits. Thanks for joining us, and make sure you're back Monday night. New season here. Or actually Sunday. Sunday starts the new season with the Pro Late models and something before the Pro Late models and then the GT3s. Midgets, Pro Late models, and GT3s. So make sure you're back Sunday night here. As I think, is Travis going to broadcast that, John?
I have no idea.
We'll have to see here. But anyways, make sure you join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman with John Hine, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good evening.